Good evening, baseball fans. It has been a crazy, crazy ride. Starting back in October of last year, we decided to create a league of players, many of whom are largely forgotten today, between 1880 and 1919, and created 10 teams, 10 managers. And what a wild ride it's been. So Manchester, of course, running away with it, pretty much finishing 7 games in front. But it was the race for second place and the coveted visitor spot in this 3-game World Series. And it comes down to Manchester and Philadelphia. Cleveland remaining in the running up into the last week or so, along with Providence. But it ends up that Philadelphia wins the prize. So welcome to Game 1 of this Ned McGreevy World Series. So looking at these two teams, it should be a good series, this best of 3. And then we can close the book on Ned McGreevy, and we'll visit a variation of it down the line. So hope you enjoyed tonight's game. Welcome in Robbie, and there's Joey Perchi, I believe. Welcome in, Joey. All right, let's get to it. So I've got to do these lineups, and Game 1, here we go. And there is Aaron Reed, and he says, totally missed this yesterday. All right, so here we go. And I don't know if MV is going to be in here, so we're going to set these both to humans so that everybody can start their aces. So going for Manchester in Game 1 will be Walter Johnson. Welcome in to Aaron Reed. And let's get this lineup going. MV has largely wanted a there we go. He's wanted largely a let the AI take care of things. It has most of the season. So, but we do have to set the Philadelphia lineup, which I do have given to me by Midlife Crisis. Yeah, Aaron, I'll get you on in a minute. I want to get everything set first, so I haven't forgotten you. All right, let's get this set. So we're not going to have a lot of time for color. So we'll do this game, but certainly we'll have as much fun as we can. Oops, let's move Seabold up into the 3rd position. So hope everybody's been well. It's nice to be back. This is not going to be a very, very long stream, however. But we'll get in the game and have some talk. We have a couple hours to mess around with as we continue to get these lineups set. And this has been fun, and I really, really, really want to thank everybody who's been part of this, whether you've been a small part of it or you've been a major, major influence in really pushing this together. It's just been so much fun. And the World Series was kind of an afterthought. This project is actually over. And I think I'm missing. Oh yeah, I missed Bill Hickman at 3rd. Can't miss Bill Hickman. Or Charlie Hickman, I'm sorry. So Myers, Hickman. Hickman's playing 3rd. There we go. And then Myers catching. I got to move Myers down. There we go. And then we got to bring in a Bug Holiday. So yeah, just hang in there, Aaron. Hang in there. Okay. Okay, Davis at short. And Holiday must be our left fielder, yes. And we're going to have a hell of a pitching matchup tonight. Ed Walsh versus Walter Johnson. And let's go to our replay stats for everybody. There we go. We'll get Aaron on in a few minutes. All right, let's see if we can get young Mr. Aaron Reed on the broadcast with us. So, Aaron, I'm going to be placing a call to you as soon as I can find you, mate. And trying to find you on here, Aaron. There you are. Playing worldwide something or other. All right. You guys can hear the happy sounds here. As soon as Aaron answers, he will be live.
Greetings, primitives.
All right, there you go, Aaron. All right,
Greetings.
let's get underway here. All right.
The World Series.
Welcome to Shibe Park for today's game between Manchester and Philadelphia and Walter Johnson. So Philadelphia has won 5 straight coming into this World Series. So really making a fast run to leapfrog over Cleveland. Walter Johnson will make the start for Manchester. And in the regular season, he was 35 starts and was 20-10 with an earned run average of 1.08. And he'll be opposed by the great Ed Walsh. So 2 of baseball's greatest pitchers facing off in this game 1. For Ed Walsh, 38 starts on the year, and he's 22-16 with an ERA of 2.13. So Henry Larkin ended the season with a 12-game winning streak. 63 degrees of game time, wind speed 6 miles per hour, left to right here at the City of Brotherly Love. And I think the computer has this messed up, so we have to turn it around. So we're going to actually end this game and restart again. Because I had to remember.
Wait, how do you do that?
You just click it out, and I'm going to have to restart this again.
Just kind of like reload a save game or something?
No, I just have to just start it back over again and let this fire
up. Gotcha.
All right. Now, that was my mistake on that, and that's fine. I've just got to reset the lineups. So I don't know why it has Philadelphia at home. It shouldn't. Let me see. This thing is crazy. I might have to redo the schedule because I had this right, but it looks like it flipped it around. That's all right. Gives us a few minutes. Aaron, you can just talk a little baseball if you want. Baseball.
Yeah, I've been playing
baseball. Don't let Robbie get you off into wrestling and stuff like that.
I've been playing a lot of APB recently on my computer. I even played it while I was on vacation.
Oh, good.
And
how
I finished
how
my
are you liking it?
Huh?
How are you?
Oh, I love it. I ain't just. I'll put it this way. I ain't just doing exhibition games anymore.
I'm
in the midst of league play at the moment. I played through 1994. It ended on August 11th, and I cannot make it go any further.
Okay.
Because of the strike.
Right.
And then, so I went back and I played. I'm playing through 1990, and my Reds, they're not doing well. They got a winning record, but they are not doing as good as they actually did that year.
Mm-hmm.
But I know how to make it to where I can set what you set it to play, or like Reds, for example, Cincinnati games to human coach. Mm-hmm. So that way, when my game comes up, I know it's there.
Right.
And or I can do what I like. I can check the scores of everybody else, see everybody, all the other teams do in a day. It's like because when I close it, when I do all that and play my game and close it
Mm-hmm.
and reopen it again, the schedule,
Uh-huh.
then a new day begins.
Okay.
It's like the next day, and of course, I don't know why, but it skips the All Star game.
You
It
you have
is.
to set that in settings.
Uh, I think I saw something about that. It said All Star team because that um like it doesn't do a home run derby. I don't think you can do a home run derby in this game.
No, you can in out of the park baseball, but not this.
Ah, drag. Oh well, but I know where the '90 All Star game was. It was at Wrigley, and the American League won it. But
Mm-hmm.
um, like I actually finished the season one time just for the hell of it, and
Uh-huh.
not hell of it, but hell of it.
Right.
And I didn't know. I thought it was going to go directly to playoffs, but it did not. It just stays on the last day of the season. I think you have to do it
Mm-hmm.
yourself, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I have not gotten that far yet. Uh, hang on.
This thing. So the one thing I hate about Action PC Baseball is its schedule editor. It's terrible. It is
Yeah,
terrible, and he's never fixed it yet. It's just it sucks. Let's try this one more time. If it keeps up like this, all right, we're gonna go 1, 1, 1, and 1. All right, so October 1st, there and there. Boom. Okay, now we go to this and visitor Manchester, home Philadelphia, and then third back to Philadelphia, Manchester because they have to have save. There we go. That's exactly what I wanted it to do.
I'm
All
going to
right.
stop the game. I'm just simulate the game I'm playing,
All right. Well, I'm glad you're liking
and
Action PC
we
Baseball.
lost.
It's kind of wild that it's had some it's sort of had
We lost.
some resistance with some people, but it is what it is. It's a great game though. Great game. Been watching some things on Out of the Park Baseball 24 looks pretty nice. The
Yeah, I
graphics are
saw a
definitely
video.
a bit sharper,
Did
so
you do a video about that?
not Out of the Park 24. No, I won't be doing that until probably sometime this weekend because we're continuing our draft on Friday night for our
Yes.
Howie Shanks Bingo League.
Howie Shank.
Yeah, that one that we're drafting from years.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right, exactly. And I don't know. Oh, I see what we have to do. And it's not gonna. Yeah, will it let me do this? I doubt it. Nope.
Your home meeting then back 26 meters ago.
All right, I've got to try to.
Method.
Oh my God, this is terrible. So I actually have to exit out of the game again,
Uh,
and it doesn't let. Oh my God, this is one.
Ace.
This is like a big. I can hear your software in the background.
that's my phone.
Okay.
My phone talks.
Now we've got to kill this, and I have to bring up his lineups again. All right, there we go. We'll try this one more time. Yeah, it's been just a shit day at work too. So there we go.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It happens. It happens. Just have a very very tough job. So we'll make these both human. There we go. Now we got it. All right, cool. So you're really liking Action PC Baseball?
Boy, I
Nice.
love it.
Yeah, it's a great game. It's a great
I
game.
mean, like, I never. I've been showing it to my girlfriend on the Skype a lot, and she loves it. I mean, she
Yeah.
loves to watch a game that I play, and I mean, what I like to do is instead of playing through the day, I like to simulate games I don't have set to human controlled, and then
Right.
I look at those scores then I play my game. It's like the last,
Mhm.
the last one to play, and then it's like the day's over, and then
Mhm.
but this is this has been quite the experience. I mean, I was just doing exhibition games last time I talked to you
Mhm.
on the Discord,
Right. But now
and
you're playing actual season.
God, yes, I am. Um, what's the difference between an unscheduled league game and a scheduled league game? I wonder.
I never ever mess with anyhow, I never mess with the unscheduled league game. It still saves stats and everything, but I really never bothered to
That's
even.
probably what that is,
Yeah, I don't even worry about it.
right? Because like I remember I think it was we had just done yesterday. I had experiences. I just did a hang on a second. I had just done the All Star break, and then the Reds were the Cincinnati was supposed to play on the 13th. They
Mhm.
did not play, so they played a doubleheader with New York in on the 14th.
Mhm.
So I think it's because of a rainout,
All right.
which they don't tell you that in the you know. I have had a game stop called because of rain once before, but
Mhm.
like but this has been quite the experience for me just to sit here and
Mhm.
play a full APB game. It could be time consuming, but I love it. Yeah, I would not have it any other way. Now the next step would be to get uh baseball for Windows.
We'll get that. You're just gonna have to be a bit patient.
I know, man. I know.
Yep. I
I
mean,
I
my
know.
schedule and everything like that. But yeah, you'll like it.
Your schedule is loaded. You got
It
a lot
is.
going on.
Yep. All right. Let's
All
get
right.
this game started.
All right. What the? Oh, yeah. Shut up. Oh yeah. World Series Game 1, yeah, doing the thing, the Philadelphia and the Manchester Club, yeah.
All right. Welcome to game one here to Ebbets Field, and of course, it's going to be Ed Walsh and Walter Johnson. So let's get to it.
Oh, baby.
All right, Henry Larkin leads it off in the season, 266 in the regular season, 3 home runs, 65 runs batted in. Walter Johnson has finished his warm-up pitches, and we are just about ready to go. So what I'm going to do is right now I'll be having the home team as we did, but the rule's going to be is whatever manager makes it in is who gets to manage. That's how we're going to do it. All right.
Uh,
Yep. So we're putting the rules in their head a little bit. All right, Walter Johnson, the big train versus Ed Walsh. This is gonna be a good game. The 1-2 pitch coming from Walter Johnson. Larkin swings, chopper to Cupid Childs a second onto Dan Bruthers, and out number one of our Ned McGreevy World Series. We are underway. Here is Eddie Collins, one of the great second basemen of all time. Great contact hitter. Lots of steals, too. 50 in this season, actually, for him. But Eddie
he's a
just hitting
speed burner.
250. He certainly is. So nobody on, one down. Walter Johnson with the 0-2. Collins swings comebacker to the big train. On to Dan Bruthers to retire Collins for out number two. So two quick ones here at Ebbets Field, the home field for Manchester. And that brings up a right fielder, Sox Siebold. Siebold in the season
Doc
at
Seabold.
Sox Siebold, 291 hitter, 3 home
Sucks.
runs, 19 runs batted in. Johnson delivers the 1-1. Siebold fly ball, and Stahl has it, and that retires the side. No runs, hits, or errors, nobody left. We played a half inning. It's the Philadelphia Quakers, nothing, and the Manchester Red Bulls coming to bat. So the Red Bulls, Manchester, finishing the season 86 wins, 64 losses. The Philadelphia Quakers,
Wow.
79 wins, 71 losses. So first time through this league, Manchester won by a mere 2 games. The second time by 7. Leading off, Jesse
Wow.
Burkett. Yeah, big difference, right? Well, we
Yep.
changed the year to which it was normalized. It was really interesting. to see it play out twice. Jesse Burkett,
Mm.
left fielder, Hall of Famer, 300 hitter in the season, 40 runs batted in, and Burkett has wheels, 43 steals in the regular season. Ed Walsh, a 1.72 earned run average. He went 24 and 16, or I'm sorry, 22 and 16 with a 2.13 earned run average. With 2 saves, he struck out 188. So, looking at the defense, then we'll look at the defense for Manchester when we go to the top of the second. So, Bug Holiday in left field, Ginger Beaumont in center, Sox Seabold in right from first to third, Henry Larkin, Eddie Collins, George Davis, Charlie Hickman, Chief Myers, and Ed Walsh. And here's a little picture of Jesse Burkett. Be the last time we'll be seeing some of these guys for a while, but others we'll see in our dead ball and 19th century tournament. Completely different. Ed Walsh with a 2-2 pitch. Burkett swings, fly ball to left or to right, coming in on it. Sox Seabold making the catch for out number 1. Here's Cupid Childs now, second baseman. Childs hitting
Cupid.
254, 42 runs batted in. What was that, Aaron?
Cupid.
Walsh
That's
with
it.
the
And then
0-2.
there's Cupid.
Fly ball to left, back on it is Bug Holiday, and squeezes it for out number 2. And there is Big Clue, one of our hardcores also. Welcome in, bud. Good to see you. All right, 2 down. Dan Bruthers had an 8-game hitting streak going into the end of the season. Bruthers hit .315 in the Ned McGreevy League. 9 home runs, 71 runs batted in. 2 outs. Ed Walsh with the 0-2 delivery. Fastball, and Dan Bruthers fooled on that one. Strike 3 called. No runs, no hits, no errors. We've played 1, and we are scoreless in this game 1. Let's look at the defense now for the Manchester Red Bolts. Again, finishing 86 and 64. Jesse Burkett in left field. Chick Stahl in center field. We'll see Jake Stahl in our dead ball tournament for the 1912 Red Sox. Chief Wilson in right from first to third. Dan Bruthers, Cupid Childs, Joe Tinker, Bobby Wallace, and Ted Easterly. Walter Johnson in the Ned McGreevy League struck out 213, led the league and earned an average of 1.08. Ridiculous numbers, went 20 and 10. Ginger Beaumont hit .375 with a run batted in. Beaumont did not see a lot of playing time, but a heck of a hitter in the baseball history collection from which we drew all these players. A .318 average with 56 runs batted in and 28 steals. Beaumont, an important member of the early Pittsburgh Pirates. The big train winds and fires. The 0-1. Beaumont gets the bunt down. Ted Easterly pounces on it onto Cupid Childs for the 2-4 putout. 1 up, 1 down. For third baseman Charlie Hickman, 267 average, 5 home runs, 50 runs batted in. Johnson with the 1-0. Hickman chops this one to center. Stahl, ranging to his right, will make the running catch for out number 2. Chief Myers now. Myers hit .246, 5 home runs, 61 runs batted in for the catcher. As Johnson with a payoff pitch to Myers, and Myers base hit into left field, so first hit of this game.
Oh, there goes the no-hitter.
There goes their no-hitter. Well, don't usually worry about those in the first inning. But Myers aboard with the base hit to left. Burkett getting that back in quickly. And Chief Myers, just 8 steals. Here's the left fielder, Bug Holiday. .274 average, a home run, 14 runs batted in. Johnson with the 2-1. There goes Myers, a little hit and run action. Stahl coming in quickly in center and making the catch. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 man left. And we go to the bottom of the second. We are scoreless. Chief Wilson, Chick Stahl, and Bobby Wallace due up for the Manchester Red Bolts. Ed Walsh with a strikeout in this game already. Winds and fires the 1-0 to Chief Wilson. Wilson swings, and this one's going to go for extra bases into right field. And cruising into a second with a stand-up leadoff double is Chief Wilson. So Manchester always playing aggressively and has a runner in scoring position. Chick Stahl hit 242, home run, 46 runs batted, and he bats lefty. Walsh checks Wilson. Chief Wilson with 16 steals on the year. The 2-2 to Chick Stahl. And Stahl pops this one high in the infield towards short. George Davis makes the call and the catch. One away, and the infield fly rule in effect. Wilson stays at second. Hall of Fame third baseman Bobby Wallace, and let's face it, we have all kinds of Hall of Famers all over the place, as you would expect. Wallace, 231 hitter in the season, 17 runs batted in. Walsh brings it, the 0-2. And Bobby Wallace, a swing and a miss. 2 down, Ed Walsh hangs up his second K. There is John DFW. So Big Clue says Walter is one of those old-timey ball players I really wish I could have met. Absolutely. Nobody had a bad thing to say about the man. Never mind, watching him pitch would be a thrill. He says, I was at the Casey Awards this year. His grandson won the award for him, or for his biography on the big train. That was neat. He was a tall drink of water, too. Cousin Ken Castro here at the ballpark. Good to see everybody here, John DFW. All right. And we have Aaron,
Wow.
and we have Aaron Reed with us here tonight. And John DFW, thank you. He's made the changes, so we have a couple additional channels for our Howie Shanks Bingo League. Figured we had to do something for Steve Tate, and somebody else talked about it being bingo, so why not? And then John made one more channel just for all kinds of general kind of projects, posts, whatever. And that's for anybody to use. So as we continue our draft in the Howie Shanks League, would ask everybody to start, you know, when we do the asynchronous part of it. So like Friday night, if we get through another 8 rounds, and then maybe like we'll do, you know, round 9, and that will be posted in that Howie Shanks Bingo League thing. All right, Ted Easterly now, batting with 2 down. Easterly on the year, 245 hitter, 13 runs batted in. The 1-0 delivery, and Wilson was on the move, but this one a routine fly ball to right. Sox Seabold has it. And I want to give another special mention, and that retires the side, by the way, and we are scoreless as we go to the top of the third. I want to give another special mention to Ken Castro, not only for with his management style showing how, giving us a great idea of how the game was played in the 19th century in the Dead Ball League, but also just sticking with me all this time when I was, you know, ready to go. You know what? I had to just give in and do what everybody else is doing. And Ken saying, no, just stay in there. You know, old-time baseball deserves a home as well. And so, Ken, I can't thank you enough for so many things, brother. All right, George Davis will lead it off here. The number 8, 9, and 1 hitters due up for the Quakers. Davis hit just .210 in the season, 3 home runs, 45 runs batted in. And Providence made a hell of a run at it, too. Johnson with the 1-1 delivery. Davis swings, and this one down in the corner for extra bases. Davis rounding first, and he will stop at second as Jesse Burkett gets the ball into Cupid Childs covering at second. So now Philadelphia threatening with a runner in scoring possession. And that brings up old time. That's Big Clue says old time baseball for fans old and new. What we'll do is for some 7th inning specialness, we're going to have Aaron Reed kind of, after the 7th inning stretch, extend the 7th inning stretch and let Aaron talk to you about what he's been doing and on his channel and just general thoughts on baseball. Sound good, buddy?
Can't wait to do that.
All right. Since we're a little out of your era here. All right. Ed Walsh, 148 and 8 runs batted in the regular season. George Davis with 43 steals. Here's the wind and the 1-2 by the big train to Ed Walsh, and Ed Walsh swinging a miss. Walter Johnson picking up his first strikeout, 1 down. Davis at second, no score here in Game 1 of our Ned McGreevy World Series. And we go back to the top of the order for the Philadelphia Quakers and Henry Larkin. Larkin grounded to second, back in the first. Walsh with a payoff pitch. Larkin, oh, this one chased a pitch out of the strike zone, expanding it for Walter Johnson.
Ooh, look out.
Second strikeout for the big train, and 2 down for Eddie Collins. Davis remains in scoring position. Eddie Collins grounded out to Walter Johnson his last time up. Here's the big train with the 1-2, and Eddie Collins, strike 3 called. Walter Johnson sharp as hell. Strikeout number 3 for Johnson. We go to the bottom of the third. We are scoreless. Ed Walsh versus Walter Johnson. So Joe Tinker, 233 in the regular season, a home run, 46 runs batted in for him. Walsh brings it, payoff pitch, and Joe Tinker flies this one to center and right into the glove of Ginger Beaumont. So in the F8, 1 down, and here is the big train. Hit 184 with 2 home runs and 9 runs batted in. Walsh deals the 1-1. Johnson sends a shallow fly ball to center. Ginger Beaumont trots in on it and makes the catch. 2 up, 2 down. Big Clue says, as many here can attest to, there are a few better ways to get to know the players from any era as well as playing a lot of sim baseball from the same period. Don't know. Fun way to learn. Exactly. I would only also add, great adjuncts, books, documentaries, everything like that. But yes, what a fun way to learn. Couldn't agree more. And I always tell people who sort of resist this, just think of these guys, if you don't want to think of them as players, from the 19th century and up to right after the First World War, think of them as minor leaguers, maybe that you don't know.
Oof.
Sometimes it's just
It's very true.
Sometimes it's just that little paradigm shift. All right, Jesse Burkett, we're back at the top of the order for Manchester. Fly to shallow right. Just to convince people that there were baseball players before Aaron Judge and Mike Trout, whatever. All right, the 0-1 pitch, and Jesse Burkett, clean base hit up the middle. So Burkett on board, and that's the second hit for Manchester. So each team tied in hits. And Burkett stole 43 bases in this league this year. Cupid Childs fly to left back in the first. Walsh checks Burkett. And there goes Burkett. Myers comes up gunning, and Jesse Burkett gets the steal. So Burkett on at second with 2 away. Childs back in the box. And the 0-1 from Walsh. And base hit to left. Holiday has it. Burkett rounding third quickly. Bug Holiday comes up throwing, but just going to get it into Hickman. And so Manchester, as it's done all season, jumps out to an early 1-0 lead. Childs at first. Cupid Childs with 35 steals in the season, the regular season. Dan Bruthers is 0 for 1. Struck out in the first. Big Ed Walsh checks the runner. 2 outs. There goes Childs. Myers throws down. Cupid Childs has the steal. So Manchester playing an aggressive brand of baseball, as we expect. Midlife crisis. I've changed the rules a bit, so I'm going to flip it around since you're the first manager here. Instead of being home team manager, because you don't know where MV is, you get to make the calls. All right, and he's been really happy with the way the AI. So anytime you want to make calls, changes, whatever, you can. So he says, let's go Quakers. All right, Dan Bruthers.
Quakers.
Right, those Quakers. Dan Bruthers.
I don't know to pull for in this, but go ahead.
No, go ahead. What's that?
I don't know to pull for in this. I mean, they're both good teams, so it's, what is it, best 2 out of 3 in this, or what?
Yeah, it's just a best of 3 series.
All right, go ahead.
Yep, I didn't want to go 7. I figured we already closed the project. Just wanted to extend it out 3 more games, just to be a lot of fun. See if we can get an upset. Who knows?
That would be something.
Ed Walsh checks Childs at second. 2 out. The 0-1 delivery to Bruthers. There goes Childs, was in motion. Fly ball to deep left, but in the corner, Bug Holiday will retrieve it for out number 3. However, a run for Manchester, 2 hits, no errors, 1 left. And we go to the bottom of the 4th, Aaron Reed, and it's 1-0 Manchester over Philadelphia.
Wow. 1-zip.
See, Big Clue says, don't talk to him about Mike Trout after last night's craptastic performance. And apparently, Mike Trout has already, he says, no pun intended, he's a big Ed Walsh fan. Love the pun. I guess Mike Trout's already committed himself to the 2026 baseball classic, so read that today.
Did that end?
Um,
Is it over?
I'm not sure if that's. I think tomorrow is the championship game. I
Because
think
uh,
I haven't
because
been
I know that
following it. I have not been
neither have
following
I.
it.
I can't find what channel it's on.
I mean, a week
Like,
from tomorrow is opening day, so
oh man, that's insane.
yep, it's crazy.
I better go on. I better go on the internet and see who's playing what channel and what time.
Oh,
Who's playing
Japan.
who at
Okay, so Japan won it all last night, so it's over.
ah
And Shohei Ohtani was the World Baseball Classic MVP. I'm sure it was well deserved.
no surprise. I mean, that guy can do it all. I mean, Otani can just. I mean, he could. Well, I'll say my discussion for the seventh inning, but he could do. I'll just say he could do it all.
Yep.
But carry on.
Well, you know what, Robbie? You're disgusted the United States didn't win, but we lost against a better team.
Yeah, Japan. They always beat us.
Here we
I
go.
mean,
1-2 pitch, and Seabold smacks this one to left for a base hit. Burkett throws it into Joe Tinker. So here come the Quakers. Sox Seabold with just 2 steals on the year. Ginger Beaumont batting in the cleanup spot, bunted out back in the second. So, Midlife, the way we're doing this, I know you haven't been around. If you want to make any moves or something, put up an emoji that I can see, and then that stops play until you make your managing decision. All right. All you have to do is just make that call. All right, because you were in here tonight as opposed to MV. So the first manager that gets in gets to manage. All right, so Seabold at first, and there we go. That emoji works. As long as I can see it. Yep, steal. All right, you got it. Sox Seabold, good leadoff first. Johnson checks the runner as he faces Ginger Beaumont, who bunted out back in the second. Here's the wind and the delivery by the big train. There goes Seabold to throw down. Seabold slides and gets the steal. So runner in scoring position, the potential tying run for Philadelphia. Nobody out. The 0-1 pitch coming to Ginger Beaumont. Here it comes. Beaumont swings, chopper to second. Childs has it, but then drops the ball, and that's an error for Cupid Childs, but he's able to hold Beaumont on first. So runners at the corners, Philadelphia threatening to tie the game. The tying run just 90 feet away for third baseman Charlie Hickman. Hickman back in the second, fly to left center. Nobody out, so golden opportunity here for Philadelphia. We'll see whether Manchester is going to go for the double play and concede the run or try to cut the run at home. Okay. Gotcha, John. Johnson delivers. And there goes Beaumont. Throw down. And Ginger Beaumont steals. So Philadelphia with 2 in scoring position.
Wow.
And nobody
Philadelphia
out.
working on the offense, brother.
Absolutely. Hickman back in there. The 0-1 pitch to him. And Walter Johnson plunks Charlie Hickman.
Headhunting.
Goes way inside. Johnson not known for hitting pitchers actually in real life. In fact, confessed to Ty Cobb he was always afraid to hit a batter because he might seriously injure or kill him, maim him, whatever. So Cobb would actually crowd the plate against Walter Johnson, and Johnson would ease up on a pitch, and Ty Cobb famously said, "That's the Walter Johnson pitch I hit." So Cobb was able to take, and Cobb really admired Walter Johnson, but just kind of a neat way how a batter's going to use, and that's what baseball is, use every advantage. He's rattled, doesn't like hitting guys. Absolutely, he hates it. He hated it. I wouldn't want to be hit by Walter Johnson either.
No.
Bases loaded, the 1-2 pitch. Myers, this will send this to center field. That's pretty shallow. Jesse Burkett has it, and Sox Seabold will come in and score the tying run. It's now 1-1, Philadelphia and Manchester here in Game 1. Beaumont In scoring position is second, trailing him, Charlie Hickman in first. For left fielder Bug Holiday, who fly to shallow right center. Beaumont, pretty good speed. 1-2 pitch from Johnson. Holiday, chopper to third. Bobby Wallace, a nice smooth motion, goes to first. This is going to be close. And they do get Bug Holiday at first. And Beaumont comes in to score, and Philadelphia ahead 2-1. One of those instances where the chalkboard doesn't show it, and I have to just rely on the play-by-play to the right. So 2 away, Philadelphia lead here in the top of the fourth in game 1. As Walter Johnson ready to face George Davis for the Quakers, doubled back in the third. Hickman at first, 2 away, Johnson with the 2-0 delivery, and Davis bounding ball to Joe Tinker at short, on to Dan Bruther's side, retired. 2 runs, 1 hit, 1 error, 1 left. And we go to the bottom of the fourth inning. It's the Philadelphia Quakers 2, the Manchester Red Bulls 1.
What a nice, good game so far. Wasn't one of your games last week with like
17
17 innings?
17 innings.
Jeez.
And that was the that's in that the KCCL tournament, 1919 Reds and 1914 Boston Braves. That was
Yeah,
17.
I said that. I said in that one, I said if this goes any longer, it's gonna be breakfast with Beatles.
Yeah, it was getting close. It was getting close.
Like I gotta go to bed because I'm leaving for vacation the next day.
1 inning away from a doubleheader we were.
Wow.
Chief Wilson will lead it off here, the number 4, 5, 6 hitters for Manchester. Wilson doubled back in the second. Walsh deals the 1-2 delivery. Wilson swings fly ball to right. Sox-Seabold has it for 1 down. And I'm kind of making an executive decision on the Howie Shanks Bingo League that we're drafting for right now. We get incentive for some folks to come in if they want. So 2 teams are playing. The first manager in has the choice to manage, so rather than home field advantage. So whoever your team is, and I know Cousin Ken likes to manage. So if you're the first one in the game when it starts, you're the manager. I think that's fair. Chick Stall.
That's
now,
fair enough.
I think it is, because the home team thing, we had to sim a lot of games out, and we would have home managers that just didn't feel like managing. So, but no problem. All right, Chick Stall popped a short back in the second. Walsh delivers. Stahl swings, gets the bunt down, but Myers pouncing on it onto Eddie Collins, covering to retire Stahl for out number 2. So 2-1 your score. I think this is going to shape up to be an excellent game. Thus far it is. Bobby Wallace struck out against Walsh back in the second. Walsh with 2 strikeouts. No walks. Big Ed delivers the 1-2. Bobby Wallace swings. Shallow fly ball to right. Sox-Seabold has it. And Manchester goes quietly, and we go to the 5th. And it's Philadelphia 2, Manchester 1. Due up, Ted Easterly, Joe Tinker, and Walter Johnson, or I'm sorry, Ed Walsh, and then Henry Larkin and Eddie Collins. Robbie Wertberg, sounds fair to me too. The Ruby Knights, yeah, Robbie, that's the same for many of us. Myself included, of course, well, although, yeah, so Steve Tate's offered to manage my team when, if there's nights that I'm running late or I can't manage or whatever, so.
I can't manage it all.
Yeah, but we can have you doing some other things, doing some bench jockeying, and we'll have you on broadcasts and stuff. Some broadcasts,
Yeah, of course.
So it'll be fun. Walter Johnson with a full count, and Ed Walsh strikes out against Johnson again, and that's the Big Train's 4th strikeout. Back at the top of the order now with 1 down.
4 Ks on the day, brother.
Henry Larkin has grounded to second and struck out in the game. Walter Johnson delivers. Larkin chops this one. Cupid Childs, another error, and Larkin aboard. So 2 errors by Manchester in the game, and this could prove costly. So Larkin at first in the regular season, 17 steals. Eddie Collins, nothing for 2. He's grounded out and struck out. And we get the sign from the Philadelphia dugout. All right, all right, Walter Johnson sets and delivers to Eddie Collins. Eddie Collins taking all the way. That one in there for a ball. So on these midlife crises, when somebody's saying take a pitch or whatever, you don't have to keep putting up the emoji. I'll just keep checking. Take again? Okay. Here's the 1-0 delivery to Eddie Collins. And that went in there right down the pike. Strike one. So 1-1 on Eddie Collins.
Oh, we going pitch by pitch mode in this?
You could choose to take a pitch.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Then, yeah.
And it does it all. It just goes.
Well, yeah, if you're taking a pitch, then you're not swinging at it at all.
Right, go ahead.
Okay, now with swing away, now it will just go into the results. We might do game 3 of this pitch by pitch. It would depend if there's a game 3.
If it goes that far.
Yeah, we'll find out tomorrow night. Tomorrow night is game 2.
Yes, go ahead.
Walter Johnson throws over Larkin back ahead of Dan Bruther's tag. Johnson sets and fires the 1-1 to Eddie Collins. Collins swings, fly ball to right, back on it, and in the corner is Chief Wilson to make the catch. Larkin retreats to first, and that is out number 1 here in the top of the 5th. Sox Siebold is 1 for 2, singled back in the 4th. And I'm just mentally waiting 6 seconds. Yep, see? It's a 6-second lag. Figured it out using those timers. Sign from the Philadelphia dugout. Larkin's steal percentage right now is 34%.
I mean, if he's got, his percentage is below half, so below 50%. So I wouldn't send him as often as,
At least not in the middle innings.
Right.
One thing we saw Ken Castro do late innings, he would have guys like a 34% chance to steal, and he would. Oh, without pitcher and catcher effect. I think we have to look at Philadelphia's roster. Let's bring up Henry Larkin. Don't know how well you can see that there, John. So in the replay, just to give you a sense, he had 17 steals and he was caught 11 times. Okay, so that's basically what it's saying. So 67% without this situation, 34% right now against this battery. Yep. So that's one of the things, Aaron, I don't know if your software allows you to do when you hover over a player, it gives you some stats and things like that. Okay, swing away.
I've not tried that.
Okay. Johnson brings it home, the 0-1. Larkin in motion, base hit to left field. Larkin rounding third. Jesse Burkett up with the ball. Safe chance, 91% Philadelphia. Do you want to send him? Even though it seems to be the obvious answer, I am not managing for you. So, okay, we're going to send him. And 58% chance of Siebold being safe at second. Send, yes or no? All right. And Larkin in ahead of the tag. So runners at the corners for Philadelphia, 2 out. Siebold at first, Larkin 90 feet away at third, 2 away. Ginger Beaumont in the game, nothing for 2. He's bunted out and was safe on an error back in the 4th. Walter Johnson ready to work from the stretch. And here is the wind and the 1-2. Beaumont swings, base hit up the middle. Beaumont picking up the RBI. Henry Larkin will score. Seabold going to third, and he will make it easily. Philadelphia tallies run number 3 here in the top of the fifth. 3-1, Philadelphia. Charlie Hickman
Philadelphia
now.
trying to throw in some insurance.
Absolutely. Sign coming up here from Philadelphia, taking a pitch. Walter Johnson winds and fires, and Seabold was coming home on that pitch. But that went in there for a strike, so runners were in motion.
You know what I never understood about baseball? When they say something like, when there's men on, they say ducks are on the pond.
That just runners on base, ducks on the pond. Usually ducks in the pond meant in scoring position.
Yep. Gotcha. Because I heard Vin Scully say it many times. Like, what does that even mean?
That's an old baseball expression. I've heard classic
public
games.
enemy number 1. I heard that one too.
Yep, I've heard like a classic broadcast. I've heard Bob Prince say it, Ernie Harwell say it. It's just a very, very old baseball.
Ducks are on the pond. Bases are choked.
Yep, bases juiced, bases jammed. Johnson from the stretch in the 0-1. Hickman sends this one airmail to center, and Chick Stahl will run over and catch that, and that is it. However, another run scores for Philadelphia, 2 hits, 1 error. We go to the bottom of the fifth. It's Manchester 3, or Philadelphia 3 and Manchester 1. Ted Easterly will lead off here. He flied to deep right back in the second. Joe Tinker waits on deck. So the number
Easterly, one of his brothers' name is Westerly.
Who knows, right?
Easterly and Westerly.
And they don't call Aaron the best color man in the league for nothing. Hickman up with it across to Henry Larkin.
Doing the thing, yeah.
So the 5-3 put out for 1 away. All right, Joe Tinker.
Gotta get my macho man.
Right. Walsh fires it in. Here's the 0-2 from Tinker. Chopper to short. George Davis has it, and again with our 6-second delay. Okay, want to bring. We'll see if he wants to bring him at the corners now. 2 down. Got to remember that 6-second delay. So trying to count that off of my head and keep the broadcast going.
How often does that? Like, is that the 6-second delay in the game or what?
6 seconds from when I'm announcing to what people hear on YouTube. So you can hear me immediately, but what they're hearing and seeing is 6 seconds behind.
Gotcha.
So that's the tricky bit, but it is 6 seconds. I've watched that timer now for 4 broadcasts.
Forever.
And it's 6 seconds. The 2-2 pitch to Walter Johnson. Lazy fly ball to center, and Ginger Beaumont, about 4 steps to his right, makes the catch to retire the side. No runs, hits, or errors. We played 5, and Philadelphia maintaining a 3-1 lead over Manchester. And big clue telling us in Australia, ducks in the pond means to watch your language because ladies are present.
I know Big Clue was Australian. I didn't know that. Good night, Mike.
He's not. He just knows lots of stuff.
Oh.
Right,
Gotcha.
Right. He knows lots of stuff.
Ducks in the
guy. So we got to add
ducks
a
in
second.
the pond in Australia.
Right. So we got to add another second for midlife crisis because he's watching the big screen and chatting with his phone. So 7 seconds. All right. So usually by the time I get the player announced, that should get us there, close. Chief Myers. So like right now, that's 7 seconds for him that we wait on. Chief Myers is 1 for 2. He singled and RBI in the 4th, sacrifice, scoring Sox Siebel. Johnson peers in, has the sign from Ted Easterly. Here is the wind. And Myers, base hit, this one going for extra bases. Wilson giving chase and right. Myers tearing around first. He'll get into second. He's going for 3. The throw into Childs, the cutoff man. Childs fires it onto third. Bobby Wallace's tag not in time. And Chief Myers has a leadoff triple here in the top of the 6th inning. See what Philadelphia won.
2 Chiefs in this game. How about that?
Yeah,
Listen.
unfortunately, if you were
Oh
Native
wow.
American descent, you were given the nickname Chief.
Yeah. What was the other one you said? If you were a drunk, they called you.
Bug.
What was it?
Bug.
Bug,
Bug or bugs. Yep.
bug or bugs. If you
Yep.
were deaf, they called you dummy.
Dummy. Yep.
Dummy. Yeah. Because dummy hoy.
Right.
But go ahead.
Yeah. There. But again, can't. It's that was part of the time. I'm not saying it was right or wrong, but just quick time out on that. Clinton Parks was. There's a player in the KCCL, and Clinton was kind of a little upset that I was using the player's nickname, but the player's nickname would be offensive today, but that was his nickname, and that was, just trying to represent baseball as much as I can as it was. I think it's a good, a good
If
learning experience. And Clinton was very cool and said, "Yep, fair enough."
if Curtis Pride had played back in those days, they'd call him Dummy Curtis
Perhaps.
or Dummy Pride.
Absolutely.
I mean, he was a good ball player. I mean, despite his disability, he could play. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, sure, absolutely.
but go ahead.
No, absolutely, you're right. Johnson pitching from the stretch in the 0-2 to Bug Holiday, and Holiday pops this one on the infield. Joe Tinker calling for it and squeezes it for the out. So one away, Myers remaining at third as George Davis steps in the box. He has a double and grounded to short. Bats lefty. Myers at third, not really a lot of speed. And nothing coming from Philadelphia, so we'll just continue. Johnson from the stretch in the 0-2 to Davis. Davis fly ball to center. Chickstall has it. Myers tagging, and he will score the fourth Philadelphia run here in inning number 6. Philadelphia
Really
looks
trying to
like
put this game out of reach.
absolutely, but this Manchester team, both of these teams got where they were. I've seen both teams throughout the regular season come from pretty significant deficits.
Don't count him out.
Never. Ed Walsh batting with the bases empty. He has nothing for 2. He has struck out twice against Walter Johnson. Midlife Crisis saying that Davis is much more relaxed, batting lower in the lineup. Johnson fires it in, and this one is gone. I didn't even have a chance to call it.
Cow!
So Ed Walsh bombs it out of here, and I mean
Back.
this one went faster than a turbocharged Chalmers.
Forget about it.
So Big Ed Walsh, the Irish tenor and spitballer and Hall of Famer, hits a solo shot, and it's now 5-1.
Get out of here.
That was gone.
Forget about it.
All right, so Henry Larkin now, and they're 2 away, bases empty, 5-1 Philadelphia lead. Walter Johnson with the 1-1. Larkin swings, fly ball to center, Chickstall has it, and that is the third out. However, 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors, no one left. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning, and Philadelphia 5, Manchester 1. Due up the top of the order for Manchester, Jesse Burkett, followed by Cuba Childs and Dan Bruthers. Infield in at the corners. All right, so Manchester looking
They got
much
some
from
work to do.
Burkett, who's 1 for 2. Here is the wind by Ed Walsh as it jumps back. Base hit, center field, so Burkett not bunting. So Jesse Burkett aboard, 44 steals for Cuba Childs. Childs, RBI single back in the 3rd, scoring Jesse Burkett. And we got a stop, corners again. All right. Gotcha. All right. Ed Walsh fires it in, the 0-1. And Childs not bunting, swings away, clean base hit. Burkett going around third, or going around second, as Beaumont bobbles the ball. And what did I say about Manchester? And errors constantly in this game, so the Quakers committing their first error. So E8 and 2 in scoring position for Manchester as Big Dan Bruthers steps to the plate. Dangerous hitter. Bruthers tonight has struck out and flied out. See what Philadelphia wants to do here. And there's Tim, Clee baseball fan, 879.
Cleveland rocks for the land.
All right, seeing nothing from Philadelphia, so we're going to go forward with this. From the stretch, Ed Walsh in the 1-1. Bruthers swings, chopper to first. Larkin will take it to the bag himself, but coming in to score is Jesse Burkett. Run number 2 for Manchester. 5-2. So, Clee baseball fan, 879, asking who is our guest commentator. It's none other than Aaron Reed, Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage, Harry Carey. Go ahead and introduce yourselves, guys.
Hogan, brother, what are you going to do when the Manchester, come out on you, brother? Yeah, the Philadelphia Quakers doing the thing, yeah. Hello again, everybody. Harry Carey with Steve Stone here at Ebbets Field. It's a beautiful, whatever it is, afternoon for Game 1 of the World Series.
So there we go. We've got
The man of 1,000 voices, as Steve Tate called me.
Exactly. Ed Walsh pitching from the stretch. Potential run number 3, just 90 feet away for Manchester, down 5-2 here in the bottom of the 6th. Plating one already. Delivery from Walsh, the 1-1 to Wilson. Wilson swings, liner right to George Davis. 2 away here in the bottom of the 6th. And that brings up Chick Stahl. The center fielder has popped to short and bunted to catcher. See, but Big Clue is saying that's just because Steve Tate is a cheap ripoff artist and Mel Blanc is dead, so he can't he can't sue.
He can't
Mel Blanc,
sue.
of course, the great voice behind so many Warner Brothers cartoons and a little bit of trivia. So Mel Blanc hated carrots. He hated carrots. So when Bugs Bunny was chewing on the carrots, Mel Blanc was munching on celery. He hated carrots. So
Mel Blanc did not like carrots. I did read about that. He did not like carrots.
Hated them, so he munched on celery. All right. That being said, and Bugs Bunny was a hell of a baseball player. I always liked that. There was a few Warner Brothers. What was the one where the ball would avoid the bat and the bat would avoid the ball? That was good stuff. I mean, you got.
I've never seen Bugs Bunny play baseball.
Oh yeah, it's classic stuff.
What's up, Doc? It's like,
all right,
it just takes me back.
1-2, and in there for strike 3, a swing and a miss. So 1 run scores for Manchester, 2 hits, 1 error, 6 in the books. It's 5-2, and we're coming up on the Aaron Reed 7th inning stretch show right after the top of this 7th. Yeah, Tim is saying too. The other one was the guy I forget the guy's name too. One hit wonder who sang the Pina Colada song. Hated Pina Coladas.
That'd be like a musician singing a song about beer and not liking it.
Exactly. Right.
Hating about the song he sings about.
Mm-hmm. Bunt for hit for Eddie Collins. Eddie Collins, nothing for 3, is grounded out, struck out, and flied out. Walter Johnson has struck out 4 in this game. Rupert Holmes, thank you there, Midnight Prices. Johnson delivers. Collins gets the bunt down, but Easterly, probably looking bunt, jumps on it and fires on to Cupid Childs covering. So 1 out, the bunt hit not successful. Sox Seabold having a very good day at the plate. He's 2 for 3. Philadelphia right fielder has singled twice in the game. Nice crowd in here tonight catching game one. And that's why I'm
Game
saving
one
my
of
Hall of
possible
Fame.
3.
That's why I'm saving my Hall of Fame picks, Big Clue. There's plenty of them. Yeah. Tim says there's a country song called "I'm Pretty Good at Drinking Beer." Would be funny if he was a teetotaler.
Yes, I've heard that song before. Billy Currington.
Okay.
That's like
there you
when you mentioned yesterday. I think it was yesterday. You said a song about crud. I forgot what that was now, but that
Oh,
something
don't the
about
girls get prettier at closing
that
time
was
or
Mickey
something?
Gilly.
Mickey Gilly.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was Mickey Gilly. You mentioned that. Yeah,
That's
I
pretty
looked it up
much.
and gave.
Oh, that I was gonna say it's pretty much my extent of like mainstream country western stuff I listen to. In addition to rock, is something called dark country. So
Dark country.
yeah, it's no weeping in my beer. It's like outlaw music, and it's like country western and heavy metal had a baby, and it's brilliant stuff. It's very dark.
I've heard of that. The outlaw stuff. Yeah.
Robbie asking why to leave their Hall of Fame picks on the table. Strategy, Robbie? Because there might be a certain person you want. You hope that year comes up. But Robbie thinks everybody should use their Hall of Fame. Everybody will, bud. They will. The 1-0 to Sox Seabold. Seabold chops to short. Tinker quickly up with it onto Dan Bruthers to retire Seabold for out number 2. Ginger Beaumont 1 for 2. He was safe on an error in the 4th and an RBI single scoring Henry Larkin in the 5th. There you go. Big Clue giving Robbie some advice. So speaking of brilliant stuff, Robbie needs to listen to Jimmy Souls if you want to be happy for some wife-catching advice. Right? Exactly. That's a great song.
That's a good song.
Yep. So Robbie, listen to it. You'll crack up. You'll love it. You really will, buddy. It's good stuff, and I think it's advice that I have yet to follow and never will, but because I'll take. Yeah. Well, anyhow, let's back to the game. Here's the 0-1 Beaumont. Little dribbler to second. Childs quickly up with it, and in one fluid motion throws on to Dan Bruthers. 7th inning stretch time, and then we'll have Aaron talk to us for a little bit. It is Philadelphia 5, Manchester 2, as we listen to the strains of the chorus of Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
Which is the same for every ballpark, I believe. You cannot. Well, I think you can somehow, some way, but I've never seen it done before.
Well, what was sad
Like,
is
yeah.
after 9/11, for a lot of years, they were saying, and I'm not saying this is, don't take this the wrong
It's
way.
saying
They were singing God Bless America. Yeah, but now I'm seeing that
yes.
that Take Me Out to the Ball Game is returning, and that's nice. It's good to see.
Yeah, like I think I saw something where I heard something one time where I think it was Larry Anderson, who does Phillies games, criticized criticized them for singing that song. It's like, why would you go out when you're to the ball game when you're already there? Then again, but like I always say, nothing was more, exciting than hearing Harry Carey sing that song in front of that's I had my history teacher when I was in school was a Cubs fan, and we talk about it a lot when we were out of the class, like we're always out of the classroom. We would say, it's like Harry Carey would be proud. It's like I played a clip for him one time about Harry singing the stretch. It was I don't know when it was. It was a Cubs game, obviously. I don't know when it was, but it sounded like it was one of those like Harry was sitting in the stands like during the game and was like calling it and stuff. But no, like the way they do it now, it's like they'll play "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." If they don't do "God Bless America," they play "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." Then they do maybe the city song or
Yeah, it
something.
depends on the club. I don't know. I
Yeah,
think if
because
somebody is overanalyzing a song, well, why sing it if you're already there? I have a little nickname for that person. Pretty much dumbass. So I mean,
dumbass
it's part
or
of
moron.
yeah, it's baseball history. You're gonna overanalyze. Take me out to the ball game in the situation in which you're singing it.
I
Egypt,
mean,
Egypt, as you
Egypt
say in Ireland, Egypt.
is an Egypt lad.
You're a fucking Egypt. What
You're
are
a fucking
what are you
Egypt
after?
lad.
You're after talking. I should take a shillelagh to your head and be a bio. So,
You
Aaron,
know,
got a couple minutes
yes.
here to talk about what you're doing on your channel and stuff like that. Go ahead.
So on my channel, I've been uploading I've got like over 40 videos recently of nothing but baseball stuff. Like today I uploaded a Tony La Russa 3 game on RetroArch with the DOS.
Hmm.
And I don't know how I did it by myself, but I actually did it.
Good.
But with, like I had an old time baseball game recording today, but I accidentally hit the reset button on the RetroArch and it stopped it. So I had to I had to do that one again. But I've been doing a lot of I have a lot of old time baseball on my channel. And it's gotten a lot of views.
Good. Good. Subscribe,
A,
please, to Aaron Reed's channel.
a lot of
Just
people have been viewing my stuff.
good. Scroll back up through the chat, guys, and hover over those three dots. Subscribe to that channel to Clee Baseball Fan 879 as well, and to Robbie Workberg.
Yeah, Cleve's doing is he the one that does the Stratomatic stuff with the dice and everything? So I think I've seen him before.
Now, Big Clue wins the big prize because I couldn't agree more. So here it comes. I love this. He says, you'll notice F-Ball's anthem, the Fox Sports theme, has no lyrics because F-Ball fans are a bunch of illiterate, knuckle-dragging mouth breathers, and that's before they start drinking their six-packs. This one deserves a big in the chat.
That is a zing right there. A big zinger,
Oh,
if I ever heard one.
until I ran into Big Clue, I thought I was like the only like utter baseball fanatic on the planet. So now there's two of us.
You mentioned like whenever
At least when it
like
comes to baseball and F-ball.
oh man, like I'll watch a baseball game on TV, but it is so annoying when they don't like, they don't call the game. It's like I was listening to a Reds game one day, and I think I've told you this story before. It was the Reds and that's the Royals. It was right before the All-Star break, or close to it. And I think it was I forget who the new Reds TV guy is now, but he's I'm gonna come out and say he sucks.
Is he worse than Joe Buck?
Uh, well,
Joe Buck's awful.
Joe Buck's on ESPN. He can go F-ball off. Well, I shouldn't say it. Well, Joe Buck's a good announcer. I shouldn't say it about a man who's been doing it for over 30 years. But, like the guy that they got doing the Reds games on FS Ohio right now, he's bad. I mean, it's just like it's John something, but you got like this it's either Chris Welsh, whom would rather talk about when he was playing the game, Jeff Brantley, who you could talk to him about anything. And then you got Barry Larkin, who's a Hall of Famer,
Right.
who, I mean, but it's like when you listen to the radio, for example, you know what's going on because they say it over and over and over. They make sure you know it. It's like bottom of the ninth, 2 outs,
Yep.
nobody on, last out to go.
Baseball's a game that you either listen to or you go to live. I don't think baseball's a good game for television. For one, I mean the field's huge, right? And because like in F-ball, which it's a smaller field and everything's kind of concentrated. I mean it was almost
Yes.
made for television, as were the other two lesser sports. But with baseball, right, trying to, that's what they do, all those camera angles. But there's nothing like baseball on the radio. If you're,
Oh,
if you can't be at the game, baseball on the radio is the best.
I mean, I just got mad. So I'm gonna get out my old terrestrial and my little mini, like a matchbook size radio, and get the little earpiece in, and I'm gonna sift through the AM channels till I find a dadgum game. And believe it or not, I did. A couple of them. I found a damn Yankees game. I
Right.
found the Cubs game that was in the midst of the stretch because they were playing Harry Carey. They don't. Do you notice that Wrigley Field doesn't have celebrities singing the stretch anymore?
Nah, I think that went out with Harry.
Yeah,
So
well,
anyhow, Pib 99
good.
reminded us, and indeed you can change the seventh inning stretch under custom sounds. I mean, I found some night I think if because there's no copyright on it, some night I'm gonna allow it to play the entire song, the entire "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," the whole thing. I found a wonderful recording of it from the 1920s. So I'm gonna do it some
with
night.
the verses included.
With the verses, absolutely.
Wow,
All right,
that's part of the
that's part of it,
Tim
right?
Burns documentary soundtrack, which I used to have on CD.
Good stuff.
But go ahead.
Stuff. All right. Bottom of the seventh now, and the Philadelphia Quakers leading the Manchester Red Bulls 5-2. Ed Walsh has struck out 3 and has yet to walk a batter. Bobby Wallace, nothing for 2. He has struck out and fly to shallow right. Wallace in the box now as Walsh delivers the 0-1 delivery. And Bobby Wallace, base hit to left field, and Bug Holliday juggling the ball out there, and Wallace will take advantage and move into scoring position. Potential third run now at the Keystone sack for Manchester as Ted Easterly steps in. The catcher has flied to deep right and grounded to third. Ed Walsh checks the speedy Wallace at second. Wallace with just 6 steals, but he can take off once that ball's hit. Walsh fires it in. Count even on Easterly. Easterly cuts on this base hit to right. Seabold up with it. Wallace coming around third, but they're going to hold him up. So runners at the corners for Manchester. Nobody out. We'll see if Philadelphia tries to induce the double play ball as shortstop Joe Tinker steps in. Tinker flied to deep left center and grounded to short. Tinker, of course, part of that great Chicago, or should say that immortalized in poetry, Cubs double play tandem of Tinker to Evers to Chance that we got to do in an exhibition game finally a week or so ago. All right, pick off at first. Easterly with 3 steals in the league. And Walsh peers in, has the sign from Chief Myers. Throws over. Easterly back. Wait to see what Midlife Crisis wants to do here. Again? All right. Tessie for a game with Huntington Avenue Growls. As Tommy Leach say, it was the Royal Rooters that beat the Pirates in 1903. He said with that damn Tessie song.
Mm-hmm.
Walsh steals the 0-1. And, oh, wow, Walsh off the hill over to Davis, and Davis back to Larkin, and they turn the double play, but Bobby Wallace will score, and Manchester is within 2. It's 5-3, so timely
wow,
double
look
play
out
there, absolutely. Big Clue says, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if everything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Love it.
Amen.
Love it, love it, love it. Thank you, St. Paul. St. Paul, pretty cool dude.
Yep.
All right, Walter Johnson, nothing for 2. He has flied out twice. And Walsh has struck out twice against Walter Johnson. Here's the 0-2 delivery. And Walter Johnson, base hit to right. Seabold up with it. Johnson was a pretty good hitting pitcher, despite that 181 average. And here's Jesse Burkett, back of the top of the order. And we did see one home run, and it was by Ed Walsh, and it was a laser shot. I couldn't even.
He said, "Kaboom!"
Yeah, there was just no time to get the words out at all.
It was gone.
So the tying run is at the plate and infield in at the corners. All right, looking for Burkett here to maybe try to trick up a bunt. Johnson at first, Walsh delivers the 1-2. Burkett swinging away, chopper to third. Hickman with the error, and that is error number 3 for Philadelphia, and 2 aboard. So Walter Johnson at second, Jesse Burkett at first. Cupid Childs 2 for 3. 2 down, a Manchester run in, and field in at the corners again, saying midlife crisis. Ed Walsh with a check of the runners brings it home. The 1-2 to Childs. Childs swings, and this one scorched to Eddie Collins, but Collins making the quick snap to Larkin at first to retire the side. However, Manchester draws closer. 1 run, 3 hits, 2 errors. We've played 7 here at Ebbets Field. It's Philadelphia 5, Manchester 3. Philadelphia will send up Charlie Hickman, Chief Myers, and Bug Holliday in the top of the 8th. Hickman
Is it
is
Buck or
nothing for
Bug?
2. Bug.
Bug.
Bug, yep. So Hickman, fly to left center, was hit by a pitch, and then gave it a ride to very deep left center. And Walter Johnson into his motion, and payoff pitch to Hickman, and Hickman draws the walk. Walter Johnson walks his first, and Hickman is aboard. Chief Myers is 2 for 3 today for the catcher. RBI back in the 4th. Had a triple in the 6th and a single in the 2nd. So great day for Chief Myers. Hickman at first with 4 steals. Philadelphia calling steal here. Johnson winds and fires. Hickman's going. Easterly comes up gunning, and Hickman steals into scoring position. So 1-0 the count on Chief Myers. As Big Clue says, loving the signs being flashed by the dugout here. Makes it a lot of fun. All right, Hickman in scoring position with nobody out. Philadelphia trying to pull away again. Johnson's delivery, the 1-0. And they are going to intentionally walk Chief Myers for Bug Holliday, who is nothing for 3. Probably pretty smart on Manchester's part. Holliday has flied out. He did have a sacrifice in the 4th and popped a short in the 6th. Philadelphia flashing the signs. Bobby Wallace in at 3rd for Manchester. Calling for the sacrifice. Johnson works to Holliday. Holliday gets the bunt down. Easterly is going to go for the lead runner and cut down Hickman, so the sacrifice unsuccessful. 1 away, and runner still at 2nd and 1st. Myers now at 2nd. Holliday at 1st for George Davis, who is 1 for 3. Double grounded to short and a sacrifice in the 6th, scoring Myers, making it Philadelphia 4, Manchester 1 at that point back in the 6th. George Davis waits for the delivery from the big train. Here it comes. The 1-2. Davis swings, chopper to 2nd. Childs to Tinker, but the hard slide by Holliday will break up the double play. 2 outs, runners at the corner for Philadelphia for Big Ed Walsh, 1 for 3. And Big Ed hit that home run back in inning number 6. Sign going up here from Philadelphia again. Steele 2nd. All right, Johnson ready to deliver to Walsh. Here's the pitch. Davis is off to the races. Easterly's throw down, and George Davis gets the steal. So 2 in scoring position,
Stolen
2 down
base.
for the Quakers, right? So
Stolen base.
MLC playing some aggressive ball here. Ed Walsh back in the box, and the count 0-1 on the pitcher. Johnson sets and fires the 0-1. And Ed Walsh strikes out. So that's 3 times he has fanned today. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and it's Philadelphia 5 and Manchester 3. Dan Bruthers, Chief Wilson, and Chick Stahl do up. So pretty good game here so far. Started out as a pitcher's duel, but 15 hits between these 2 games. 7 for Philadelphia, 8 for Manchester. Philadelphia charged with 3 errors, Manchester with 2. Philadelphia stranded 7, Manchester has stranded 5. And that's where we are right now. Ed Walsh is behind 3 strikeouts, no walks. Dan Bruthers waiting for the Ed Walsh delivery. He sets and fires the 1-1. Changeup fouled back. Now 1-2. Bruthers straightens it out, but fly ball to right, and back on it is Sock Siebold. 1 up, 1 down as Siebold makes the catch at right. Chief Wilson, 1 for 3, double back in the second. Meyer sets the target. Walsh ready to deal. The 2-0, Wilson, chopper to short. Davis ranging to his left, fires it on to Henry Larkin at first to retire Wilson for out number 2 here in the bottom of the 8th. Center fielder Chick Stahl, nothing for 3 in the game for him. He's popped to short, bunted to catcher, and struck out against Big Ed Walsh. Walsh into his motion in the 1-2 pitch. And Chick Stahl, swing and a miss. And we go to the 9th. Philadelphia leading Manchester 5-3, game 1 of the McGreevy World Series, a best of 3.
You feel that breeze? I did.
That was a breeze. We felt that all the way from 1900 here to 2023, and every year in between. Henry Larkin, Eddie Collins, and Sock Siebold, the number 1, 2, 3 hitters, due up for the Quakers. When we go to the bottom of the 9th, Manchester will send up the number 6, 7, and 8 hitters, Wallace, Easterly, and Tinker.
The vets of the order.
Series will shift tomorrow night to Philadelphia for game 2. Walter Johnson has fanned 5 and walked 2. Here's the wind and a delivery by the big train. Larkin swings, liner right to Joe Tinker, who makes a leaping grab at short. So 1 down here for Philadelphia. Eddie Collins, a frustrated nothing for 4. Collins, in fact, in the season underperformed in terms of average. The only place where he actually drew kind of even was in steals. But hit only 249 in the baseball history collection that we used for this particular league. Hit 329. But underperforming in doubles, triples. A little low on RBI, so not a good season for Eddie Collins, and certainly not a good game 1 for him. Johnson fires it in, the 1-1. Cocky Collins swings and fouls this one on the right-hand side. This one will get out of play. The 1-2 now from Johnson to Collins. And a big swing and a miss by Eddie Collins. Walter Johnson picking up strikeout number 6. Sock Siebold now batting with 2 down in the top of the 9th. 2 for 4 for him. The big train works home now, the 2-1. Siebold swings, fly ball to left, back on is Jesse Burkett, and he will make the catch. Side retired. Philadelphia goes in order, and we go to the bottom of the 9th. Manchester trying, they need 2 to tie and 3 to walk it off here in game 1. Ed Walsh looking strong out on the hill with 4 strikeouts. And the stop sign from Midlife Crisis. Want to look at possible defensive? Okay, so what do you need me to bring up there? Midlife crisis. Well, we stopped play on this, so no need to hurry to type or anything. All right, let's bring up the roster for Philadelphia. Oops, wrong roster. Sorry. There we go. It's used to. There we go. All right, midlife crisis, perhaps making some moves or just doing a little bit of thinking to see who he wants to bring in, what he wants to do. A little shifting around here, bottom of the ninth. The Manchester faithful staying here at Ebbets, hoping for something. So hopefully you'll join us tomorrow night, folks, for Game 2 of this McGreevy World Series. We'll shift to Shibe Park in Philadelphia. So just 2 hours down the road from New York City. Teams will be boarding a train, traveling overnight, and playing tomorrow.
The old train.
Oh, yeah. Looking forward to Cousin Ken Castro's recreation of Albert Goodwill Spalding World Baseball Tour. He's actually researching like ship schedules, train schedules, the whole thing.
Wow.
That's a project he has coming up that I'm very, very, feel very privileged to be part of that.
Yep.
So looking forward to how that's going to be organized, played out. Friday night, if this series becomes tied, Friday night will be an off night in this World Series, as we'll continue to the Howie Shanks Bingo League. So that's where we're drafting by random year. Today is the, Tim started to type something. And that was it. I'm assuming Midlife Crisis still considering some roster moves here. Okay, Van Halterd for Holiday in left, and Thomas for Beaumont in center. All right, let's do this. So let's start with the, all right, Van Halterd for Holiday in left. Van Halterd will come in. Bug Holiday is out. And you're going to bring in Thomas for Beaumont in center. All right, oops. All right. So 2 defensive substitutions for the Philadelphia Quakers here as we start the bottom of the 9th inning. So George Van Haltern will come in to play left and Roy Thomas at center. Sox Siebold will stay in right. Bobby Wallace, Ted Easterly, and Joe Tinker due up. And if MV was here, of course, he could call for pinch hitters or whatever, but can't do it, so there we go. Hopefully we'll get MV for Game 2 on Thursday. Chief Myers now sets the target for Ed Walsh. Here is the wind and the 1-1. Wallace swings, and this one grounded deep in the hole. George Davis cannot hold on to the ball, and that is error number 4 for Philadelphia. Bobby Wallace on at first, and the tying run comes to the plate, and catcher Ted Easterly. These errors are scary. Philadelphia with 4 of them in this game. Manchester with 2. Ted Easterly last time lined a single over second, sending Bobby Wallace to third. As I said, Wallace can take off. Stop sign going up here from the dugout, Philadelphia. So for you guys to play, and already there's a mod released for Out of the Park 24. I didn't buy it, but I just saw it. So it's a nice mod that gives it's uniforms from 1901 to present. So something to look forward to once that gets into the Steam Workshop. No doubles, offense or outfield and guard lines. Okay. In. Normal, no doubles, and guard lines for the infield. All right. So a little bit of chess going on here now. Wallace aboard at first, and Bobby Wallace 6 steals in the season. After guard lines, hold runner. And there's our hot dog guy. I was wondering where he was. Did you hear him? Finally. Yep. I've been waiting to hear that guy like all night. All right, Walsh delivers. Here's the 2-1. Easterly swings, grounder to Davis, and it's another error. And you know, Casey Stengel once said that those bases on balls will kill you. I think it's the errors that'll kill you. So that is error number 5 for the Philadelphia Quakers. 2 on, and it's starting to get a little bit tense here as Joe Tinker steps to the plate, and we'll see what Philadelphia would like to do. That mod was available last year, Robbie. Big Clue said he heard Harry M. Stevens loud and clear there. Harry, of course, losing his British accent for today's game. Guard lines, no doubles outfield again. All right. And here we go. Bobby Wallace at second, Ted Easterly at first. Walter Johnson waits on deck. And we may have to make a chat decision here. Even though MV's not here, baseball wisdom would say pinch hit for Johnson, but we'll see what the chat decides. Yep. Oh, thanks a lot, Big Clue. Helps him sell more scorecards to those Irish. Wanker. All right, here we go.
Wankers.
The 2-0 delivery to Joe Tinker. Tinker swings, and this one is hit into left. Van Haltren has it, and Wallace not able to get around third. They stop him. Bases loaded, and I vote that we do bring in a pinch hitter. But it's up to you guys. What does the chat say? Try to make it fair. MV not here, not able to manage. Actually, you know what? I think the AI is probably going to do this anyhow, so never mind about the vote. Let me just make sure I have this set for computer. Yep. So we're just going to go ahead and let the computer play this one out. Let's see what Midlife Crisis wants to do here. I doubt that Johnson is going to hit, so.
I mean, he's had a good game up to this point. I mean, he had 4 or 5 strikeouts, but yet how far can a man, like back in the day though, back in this time, if you started and you had to finish it.
That was the idea, and that's one of the reasons why Joe McGinnity with the New York Giants got the nickname Iron Man. He could pitch consecutive days, he would pitch both ends of a doubleheader. The guy was just crazy.
I think Ed Kranepool did that one time too, back in the 60s.
Outfield normal, defense normal. All right, here we go. Johnson will not. It is Red Smith. And Red Smith, fly ball to right. Seabold has it. This will be deep enough to score Bobby Wallace. So Sacrifice one down, and Manchester within one now. It is 5-4.
Wow. This is close.
And yeah, the AI is pretty smart, Robin. When I was talking, I realized that the AI was going to make that move, and it did. It is close. Back to the top of the order now. Jesse Burkett. Easterly at second. Tinker at first. So Philadelphia needs to get two here to end this one. I'm going to wait and see what Midlife Crisis wants to do here. Tying run in scoring position for Manchester. Manchester showing why it is 86-64 in the regular season.
They ran away with it, like you said. They absolutely ran away with it.
7 games. The big exciting race was between Philadelphia and Providence and Cleveland. That was awesome.
Shoot.
And it was one loss. It was the one loss that Providence suffered that pretty much did it, which because they reeled off like a 4-game winning streak. But Philadelphia with a 5-game winning streak coming down at the end of the season, able to overtake Cleveland, who held second place for I think the last 2 months of the season, up to the last 3 games that we had. Philadelphia just on a tear. Seeing nothing from Midlife Crisis, so we are going to go ahead and let the computer play it out. Walsh fires it into Burkett. Here's the 2-0 delivery. Curveball, Burkett, chopper to second. Collins will go to Larkin as his only play, but 2 outs. 2 in scoring position, and Walsh needs to get Cupid Childs right here. Easterly just 90 feet away, but the pressure on Manchester now to get a safe hit. So actually a big out, getting Burkett to ground out to first. Cupid Childs in the game is 2 for 4, including an RBI back in the third. Again, we'll wait for Philadelphia here for a number of seconds. Philadelphia says pitch away. Walsh from the stretch to Cupid Childs. Childs swings, base hit to right, and this one is tied. Coming around third is Joe Tinker, and Manchester walks it off in the bottom of the ninth.
Wow.
Cupid Childs with the game-winning RBI to score, and Manchester wins game 1, 6-5. Let's go to our recap. Good managing by Philadelphia, but we're going to look and see just the errors hurt, and we'll get to that. Great, you managed a great game, Midlife Crisis. You did. Excellent game. Freaking George Davis says Midlife Crisis. Yeah, so we're going to look at all that. So an excellent game, though, well managed, Midlife Crisis, and there's always tomorrow, as Robert says. But tomorrow's going to be pivotal. It'll go to Philadelphia. Anyhow, Manchester, 6 runs, 10 hits, 2 errors. Philadelphia, 5 runs, 7 hits, 5 errors. And you'll see how that hurts in a moment. Waddle Johnson gets the win. Ed Walsh gets the loss. Philadelphia, Chief Myers went 2 for 3 with a triple. Ed Walsh 1 for 4 and a home run. That's got to hurt to lose a game even after hitting that laser shot. Cupid Childs went 3 for 5 with 3 runs batted in. And Jesse Burkett 2 for 5 with a steal. Extra base hits in this game. 1 double by Philadelphia. That was hit by George freaking Davis, who I guess is the early
George freaking Davis.
Yeah, who's I guess now the early Bucky freaking Dent. And Chief Myers with a triple. Extra base hits for Manchester, just 1. A double by Chief Wilson. Let's look at pitching. We talked about these errors, and here is the tale. Ed Walsh pitched 8 2/3, 6 runs, but only 3 were earned. So there you go. The errors will kill you, right?
The errors, walks are just like errors are like walks. They'll kill you.
Walsh walked, yeah, and he walked no one, struck out 4,
Homered.
and hit a home run. And Walter Johnson, 5 runs, 3 were earned. So actually, the errors really lost this game for Philadelphia, because this would be, if you look at it, if you factor in all that other stuff, it's the errors that hurt Philadelphia tonight. But Walter Johnson with 6 strikeouts and 2 walks. Let's look at miscellaneous here really quickly, as far as we can look at errors. George Davis with 2, Ginger Beaumont with 1, Hickman with 1, Holiday with 1, and Cupid Childs committing 2 errors. Of course, 1 home run. Stolen bases, it was all Philadelphia tonight. Sox Sebo, Ginger Beaumont, Charlie Hickman, and George Davis. Manchester with 2 steals, Jesse Burkett, Cupid Childs. RBI for Philadelphia, Walsh, Davis, Myers, Beaumont, Holiday. For Manchester, Bruthers, Childs, and Smith. Myers was intentionally walked by Walter Johnson. Great plays by Bobby Wallace and Joe Tinker. Poor plays by Eddie Collins and Henry Larkin. Philadelphia stranded 7. Manchester stranded 5. Philadelphia turned a double play. The game-winning RBI, Cupid Childs, and no surprise, the MVP of Game 1, also Cupid Childs, who went 3 for 5 with 3 runs batted in. And that does it. So tomorrow's game switches to Philadelphia, and Manchester will be starting Alexander, but I already have Midlife Crisis. I already have his the lineup that he wants, or his rotation, so that will be tomorrow, and it will not be, as I remember, it will not be Jeff Tesreau.
Back to the trail.
There's Edward Meek, somebody we haven't seen in quite a long time here. George freaking Davis. LOL, Midlife Crisis. Crisis is like my grandfather used to say, I'm so pissed I could get a mouthful of bird shit and spit it on somebody. Good stuff, good game. Well managed, though. Well managed. So tomorrow night, Game 2. It should be a good one. These are both loaded pitching staffs. Tough loss for Ed Walsh and these Philadelphia Quakers. And Walter Johnson getting the win.
Thanks for the sub, Clee Baseball fan. I appreciate it.
All right, yeah. So, guys, there we go. We can talk for a little bit and for a couple more minutes. And then I'm going to sort of head out. You know, it's only 10:30, but not time for another game. Midlife Crisis says, before we go...
Here's a word from our sponsors.
Here's a word from our sponsors.
Well, like, what was it like? Whenever post game would be like the main post game would be over, then you'd see something like something called extra innings, the call in show. Because I know that when we listen to Reds games, you'd listen to the post game show with Marty and Joe. That would wrap up, and then you would go into extra innings with I think it was like Tracy Jones, who was an ex-Red, and they'd take phone calls about the game or about certain players or something like that, and you'd hear about things that were going on and all that. Like I remember. Do you remember the night in 2003 when Sammy Sosa had a cork bat? I remember that too. We were coming home from a Legends game, and the Reds were playing the Yankees.
I think he wanted me to make a lineup change, so George Davis is benched. So okay, go ahead, buddy. Go ahead.
But yeah, like we were listening to it was a Reds Yankees. It was a game where Juan Castro got the game-winning base hit against I believe it was Antonio Osuna of the Yankees. They actually took 2 or 3 from the Yankees that year. But I remember listening to the postgame show, and Marty Brenneman said something about they found cork in Sammy Sosa's bat. I was like, what? And then, so I go on the TV on the ESPN the next day and watch Sports Center, and that's sure enough,
Hmm.
they did like what was it like top 4 or 5 incidents of players that had cork bats, and
Hmm.
Chris Sa- Chris Sabo was one of them. What was
Oh
his
yeah.
name? Billy Hatcher did it. I think Greg Nettles did it one time as well, but um, like you know that or Albert Bell did it one time too in '94. He corked his supposedly corked his bat and had a I think it was Paul Sorrento. But no, I've heard some crazy stories about of the Diamond over the past 20, 25, 20 some odd years since I've been watching
Let
baseball.
me cut you. Just hold your thought there. Midlife crisis has
Yeah,
got to go. Wife and daughter waiting for him to watch Ted Lasso. Take care, gentlemen. Thank you, midlife crisis. You managed a hell of a game tonight. You can't manage against errors. So thank you, buddy, for coming in. Really, really appreciate it, and for you being part of this league all
good
year.
stuff. Good
Yep.
stuff. Good crack.
Go ahead, Aaron.
But like ever since because I guess I really started watching baseball in 2001,
Hmm.
but I watched it off and on as a kid because that's what we had. I mean, we had the Braves, we had the Reds, we had the ESPN would do a game every other night,
Hmm.
and you know because in '01 it was when I went to my first minor league game. It was the Lexington. They're now get this. It was a Legends game, but they're now called the Lexington Counterclocks.
Counter clocks.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm like, that's dumb. Who's going to go to a counterclocks game?
Hmm.
You know, I I feel bad for the poor mascots now. They have to work clocks for faces and stuff like that. It's weird. But
Yeah, it sounds like a
um
little bit of somebody's in Egypt there. Yeah.
Egypt's everywhere. But yeah, like I was listening, like I got to hear I swear I got to hear Deion Sanders play once when he was in Cincinnati in 01 before they let him go,
Hmm.
I guess you could say. But he, like a lot of the guys that played when I was started watching the game are now managers and coaches and work for TV. And I mean, Aaron Boone manages the damn Yankees still. Uh, Barry Larkin is a Hall of Famer doing color commentary. Uh, you know, Walt Weiss is a coach, I think now, some kind of coach under Schnitker. I
Well,
keep I keep mispronouncing.
it's an interesting thing when right, you see your players, right, the guys that you saw play, and stuff like that. Now they're
Oh
coaches,
yeah,
they're this or that. It's a weird thing, it
yeah.
really is, because you remember these guys in their prime, so like, I mean, Derek Jeter, right? I mean, look what he's doing now in baseball, and I mean, that's gonna be Otani someday, and people are gonna be, oh, wow, geez, Otani's a a hitting coach or a pitching coach, whatever. It's a weird thing, right? When you're right, these players, you remember them in their prime, but like you say, Barry Larkin, a broadcaster, or whatever, guys that were around in the '70s, they got you saw Joe Morgan and John Miller, which I miss John Miller, really, really. I wish Appa would get him to pick up from 1998 on for baseball windows. I think that would be fun.
Who now?
John Miller.
Miller.
Yeah, I like John Miller, and he does
I
a
would listen to
and he
John
does
Miller
John Miller does a
any day.
mean Vince Scully
He
impersonation.
doesn't mean Al Michaels. I mean
Yeah,
Vince
yeah, he's good.
Scully. He
He's
can
good.
do. I
He's good.
mean, the last time I heard John Miller in any kind of video game was one of the ESPN Major League. I think it was MLB 2K8. I think he did, but he also did All Star Baseball '97 on the Sega Saturn and PS1. But what I think I read somewhere when they were going to expand on AP baseball for Windows, but something they were going to use Pete Van Wieren in the Atlanta
Yes.
Braves.
Yeah, I'm glad that didn't happen.
Oh man, like
Sorry, I know you're a Braves fan, but
well, I
uh,
like Pete, but
well, I liked him
God
better than
rest his
Skip
soul.
Carey. I liked him better. Skip Carey
Oh,
was like,
like Pete's nasally voice. Having to listen to that on a video game, or Why couldn't they have called Marty Brenneman or called Joe Nuxall or called, get a hold of like say, hey, we need let's say who's a good one? Jim Rooker or something like that, you
Hmm.
know, or
Harold
hell,
Brooks.
Harry Callis.
Yeah,
I mean,
I like Jack Buck better than Harry Cal, but yeah, Harry Cal's from the great one.
get
Bill,
Jack Buck in there.
now
I mean,
Big
let Jack Buck do it. You know,
Jack Buck's dead,
yes, of course he's dead.
so it'd be kind of hard to
I
get
mean,
him to do that.
yeah, well, I mean, I'm talking like at the time, you
You
know,
would have to, yeah, but so when Ernie Harwell did this with Apple, right? He worked with them and all that kind of stuff, and they were able to curate broadcasts and things like that. I mean, and it gave us permission, so I think it would again. A couple things here though, and we'll continue
you,
this. Big Clue says to you, he
uh-huh.
says, "I'm surprised a Kentuckian doesn't get the obvious reason for counterclocks, given that." And given that's in the heart of horse racing country, Kentucky started the trend of horse racing on dirt in a counterclockwise direction as a rebellion against the British format of horse racing on both counts. So, there we go, Aaron. I guess we have the answer. Robbie Wartburg, of course, he's dead. Horse is big clue. So, Robbie Wartburg, what are they going to do? Something else that I wish for, and what is that, Robbie? Are they going to make everything like you can purchase it online, or what are they going to do, Robbie? Give us the skinny. Robbie's up on everything on baseball for Windows,
Wow.
and I am going to create an art piece of Ernie Harwell just for Robbie Wartburg. I've decided because the hot blonde chick that I did that everybody else went whoa in the chat. Robbie was still talking about Ernie. So what's Appa going to do, Robbie?
I could do
Because he apparently
the,
has some inside dope on this. I have no idea what it is.
inside dope. This ought to be good.
Telling you, man. Yeah. Well, Robbie keeps this is his favorite, and I love it. I mean, he found out about baseball for Windows from yours truly, way back in 2019. On March 28th, they will offer baseball for Windows. Okay, that's a start, but as I already have it, they need to like actually do like what my and thank you for that. So guys, it's gonna be a digital download. So guess what, Aaron? You
Mhm.
do not have to buy you won't have to buy a CD, a DVD drive.
That's gonna cost me though, isn't it? I
No,
mean,
no, you will not have to, is what I'm saying. It's going to be a
hang on, get my
digital.
dad.
It's going to be a digital download now, just like Action PC is. You still there?
Love you. Sorry about that. Dad was just going to bed. I was
Okay.
telling him good night.
Good night, Dad.
But
Anyhow,
I'll
just
tell him
we'll
he's
talk about that at another time. But I'm saying
sure, sure.
you don't need to get a DVD drive.
Uh, but
So yeah, when are they the most recent in 1996? So Robbie, yeah, I mean that's nice for people. And MV says what a classic. I don't know if he's talking about baseball for Windows or this game. But MV showing up, his team victorious tonight in Game One, 5-4. But yeah, so once APA offers their ballparks as digital downloads, then I'm going to town. Even though I have a ton of ballparks for that, I'll buy every damn thing they have. It might cost a couple hundred
sure
dollars,
you will.
but I'll have them because making ballparks in that game sucks.
Oh man, like I was, you know, thinking today, like if this game is accessible in some fashion,
Hmm.
imagine the stuff that I'm going to be able to do. I mean,
Well,
that's
you'll be able to do a
just as awesome.
lot, yeah. And I mean, for you, that game's more right because once you can get everything set up, you've got like something extremely descriptive. Now that being said, you're talking about what you'll be able to do. Um, so in one respect, it's a little bit more restricted than Action PC. In other
Right.
respects, for you particularly and your needs, it's actually the better game, if that makes any sense.
I think I can understand that.
But because I mean, you're going to get a very descriptive announcer, as opposed to just the narrator that you have to use. Which, by the way, I've got to talk to Steve Tate because I've been doing a lot of looking into AI stuff, and there's a really, really cool thing that he might be super interested in, and it has nothing to do with Microsoft at all, but it's a voice generative AI program where you can do scripting and stuff. And since you can do, pardon me, you can customize play-by-play in Action PC
Hmm.
baseball. He might be interested in this. The only thing is he would have to figure right. So by able to doing that, and if the speech engine, I listened to it tonight before I started this, and it sounds fantastic. It doesn't sound
Yeah.
robotic at all. It's you type in text, and this you have the AI. You adjust a few things, some sliders, and it just sounds like a real. It's just a real person talking. It's brilliant, and it's artificial intelligence, and it's much better than even the stuff that the neural things that Microsoft's working. This is even better. It's brilliant. So I do got to let Steve know about that.
Right. Right. I mean, but yeah, I've pre-ordered my copy of MLB 20 for the show. It comes out in if you don't count today, 5 days
Yeah, I still
from
haven't.
tomorrow.
Yeah, I gotta buy a PS5 then. I better get on that because
That's the version I pre-ordered was a PS5 version. I cannot wait. I cannot
yeah,
wait.
yeah.
The Negro Leagues. I heard you're going to be able to do world. They're going to have international teams as well as part of
Yeah.
the WBC.
Now, but but they're not bringing the entire Negro League, so don't get too excited. It's
I know.
just it's like a handful of players. But
Yeah,
that's going to open up things up even more for the modders, so that's kind of cool. Robbie says here that it was announced in the Apple newsletter they recognized, Jesus, about time that new computers do not come with a disk drive. So, yeah, thanks, Appa. So get the damn ballparks as digital downloads, and you'll get a lot of money from me.
but
So,
yeah, like the like just having this experience of APB has been very very interesting. I have done a lot with it. I mean,
with
I
app
even
with
showed my
a
brother when we
with
were on
Action
vacation.
PC,
Yes,
oh, the best damn game on the market, dude. Yep.
yeah. I mean,
In my opinion.
yes, yes. The narrator is robotic as hell, but that's the best they could do with
Right.
you
Right.
know. But I like the it's like okay, I can do a season, I can, but when it comes to playoff time, that is a different story in itself. Like
Mm,
I don't know, like
it's going
because
to be
like
the
when you
same
do
in
a
base. It's going to be the same in baseball for Windows. In fact, what you have to do the same thing in baseball Windows as you do for Action PC.
uh
So,
huh.
and what I had to do with this McGreevy, I had to actually create a new league and bring these two teams in. So
Ah,
yeah, it's so out of the park baseball. I think if I remember when I did a season replay, it will go through everything, but Action PC and baseball for Windows do not.
mm,
Nope. You actually have to set up the league. You
you
have
have
to
to
set it up as a league.
set up the
In
league.
baseball for Windows, you set it up and you just say it's postseason because that deals with and that was still AI then too. It was like very rudimentary compared to what you can do now. But you said it
Right.
is postseason, and Ernie will call it like he would call a World Series or a postseason game, and
I
the
read
crowd will react
somewhere.
differently.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I read somewhere that when they were recording the lines for the old time baseball and
Hmm.
Tony La Russa baseball, I read that. Hang on, I'll try to find you the quote right here, and I'll post it in the let's see here. I'll try to read to you verbatim as best I can.
Yeah, sure.
Let me see.
So
Let me
this is
pull it
Aaron
up
Reed on
here.
with me on tonight, folks. Anybody hanging out, listening? Go ahead, Aaron. Goodness.
Let's see. Here it is, Mel Allen. Here we go. La 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 da 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 dum da da dum da dum. Feel that? Computer games. Producer Don Daglow said in a 1995 interview with Computer Gaming World that Allen was a dream to work with. If something sounded the least bit off, he called himself and self-corrected it before you even had a chance to ask for another take. Sometimes uh, he'd hear a problem live that we would only have seen later.
Oh, that's nice.
But yeah, like he said, let me see. But be spliced into sentences, announced batting averages, and so on. He stopped suddenly and said, "That's not good." Then he started again and finished the list. When we the checked the tape, we heard that he had just started to get a sing-song rhythm going, repeating too many numbers in a row.
Hmm.
I'm like, of course, back then you had to digitize everything, numbers,
Hmm.
names,
Yep.
because there were multiple people that had the same last name. Sanders, for example,
Yeah, well, maybe that
Dion.
gives you should give you more appreciation with what Ernie Harwell did because, well, old time baseball is certainly very good.
Yep.
Baseball for Windows that was, and for its I mean that was a miracle, what they pulled off with that game because I mean Ernie Harwell had to do, he says, everybody that played up went up to his time, right? And there's a lot of first names in there. So I mean I forget, I read something, I forget. I do know that Mel Allen in old time baseball did more names than Kurt Gowdy.
Right. I kind
But
of noticed that.
it's still, it was nowhere near the amount of names that Ernie Harwell did.
Gowdy sounds like he's tired. You
Who?
listen closely.
Who?
Kurt
Mel
Gowdy.
Allen
He sounds
or
like
Kurt Gowdy? Yeah, yeah. He didn't seem to be into that project too much. I
he sounded like he was like really just exhausted. Like he just come off the beach and was somewhere in his home in Wyoming or wherever he lives, and he was resting, and they called him in, and it was like he was so tired.
geez,
But Allen was like,
I can never
good.
unsee that Kurt Gowdy coming on the beach. Okay, I can't unsee that now. Thanks, Aaron.
Sorry,
Hey, there's Sean
but
DeMarco. He says, "Why is YouTube saying this video is from 1 day ago? Is this live or not?" I should hope it's live, Mr. Sean DeMarco,
it
aka
should be
World's Worst
live.
Gamer.
But yeah, like with what was it with the LaRussa baseball, I didn't notice that like Lon Simmons, for example, he sounds a little different than he does in the Sega games that he used to do.
Hmm.
Like
Oh,
it's the same guy,
hmm. Yeah, but it has to do with the
but
sample bit rate.
yep,
Yep,
yeah, the
that's
Sega can
exactly
only do
why.
so much.
Yep.
I mean, that little cartridge can only hold so much memory before you have to stop.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was 8-bit. So today,
sure
and by the
enough,
time that Ernie Harwell and Mel Allen and Kurt Gowdy and Lon Simmons, blah blah blah, that then we were in the 16-bit sampling era. But
that's what
now
it
today
was.
industry standard is 24-bit, and that's like, right. I mean that's like all the equipment I have, all my music equipment, everything, and the samplers that I work with and synthesizers, everything is at 24-bit resolution now. And really, that's pretty much, you can't get better. That's like where we are, like even what we're speaking in terms of like when we speak to people. So yeah, 8-bit sampling. And I think too, not only just for that, Aaron, but and I will get to it as a one night at maybe after we get the draft done. I want to do a night where we show on this channel, we show micro league baseball and some of the old ones. And micro league baseball. So look at the Commodore 64. That had 38. That was just 38 kilobytes, right? 38K free. That was it. And micro league baseball for its time was no slouch, and how they squeezed all of that in, and with animation in that game. Now, granted, by today we'd play say, but for its day, it was a brilliant baseball game. It
Was
really,
that
really
the one that
was.
had the players in it?
Oh yeah, yeah. And you could type in your own players. It came with a. It was either called commissioner's disc or manager's disc. I forget.
I think it was Commissioner's Disc, just like Earl Weaver had that too.
Yeah. But Earl Weaver, again, that was, you could build your own ballparks. And you're seeing from a lot of those games, you can see the natural progression and the logical outcome of all those games are both MLB The Show and out of the park baseball.
Wow.
Oh, they really are. I mean, if you look at old time baseball and look at out of the park baseball, it clearly
It's
Marcus Hindson had to be he had to know about, or at some point about, old time baseball, because there's a lot of similarities with those programs, believe it or not. Even
wow.
though, right, we're talking about. So when did out of the park baseball, I think, first went 3D with players? I think in either iteration 19 or 20, maybe it was. Maybe it was
Wow.
18. Right before, it was the little chess pawns they used to use. And before that, it was very much a very fancy looking diamond mine baseball, where there was no animation. It was more like just kind of players moving, like in diamond mine. But yeah, I mean, I would be surprised if Marcus Heinsohn was not aware of old time baseball when they decided to go 3D, and
Wow. I
including
mean,
every
that's
season, as at that time, even though they didn't include everything at that point when the game released, it was 1871 to 1981, and then later on there were additional universes that brought it up to 1998, which I still don't know how to install those in old time
yeah,
baseball.
because I know, like you said, in old time baseball, it goes up to 80,
81.
81. So the last teams you probably get would be the Dodgers or the Los Angeles, New York. I think Houston,
Hmm.
and whoever New York played in the Kansas City,
Hmm.
I think. It's 1981 because the Dodgers won the World Series in '81.
Right.
Um, but like having to look at like because I was talking to my girlfriend about that one day. She goes, there are so many like years of these teams and stuff. It's like 1871 all the way up to 1980. I was like, that's over 100 years of
It's
baseball, honey.
110 seasons, man. Yeah.
I mean, she, she doesn't know a lot about the game except from what I've showed her
Hmm.
in the past, you know, in the past few years.
Hmm.
But this with the whole like playing on the DOS, and
Right.
playing
Retro
these
arcade.
games.
Right.
Yeah, the hardball, which is set to a certain season because it's when it was made.
Hmm.
The Earl Weaver, which I don't have the kind of time. Well, I do, but I don't know how. I don't have that kind of time to make my own teams,
Right.
because you have to make the players to go with it, obviously.
And you have to use the special kind of spelling with it as
Yeah,
well.
and
Yeah.
that'd be a real jerk.
Hmm.
Of course, not that would not that would require a lot of visual aid. Trust me,
Hmm.
but um, I see a lot of these people on YouTube that do like
Oh, let me jump in 1 second.
90.
No, Big Clue.
Go ahead.
All we were talking about was just the included seasons with old time baseball. Is all I'm saying. So yeah, there is more than a century and a half of baseball seasons. Absolutely. I don't know of any game
Mm,
that does anything before 1871, though. In fact, the only
mm.
the only two games are, well, let's see, old time baseball, um, baseball for Windows, and out of the park baseball. I think are the only three that go back to 1871. Even
I mean,
this one goes back to 1880.
wow. Still in the dead ball era, though. I mean, you still got plenty of,
Big Clue's getting
like
fresh with me.
big clue. What are
All
you
right,
on?
baby.
What are
After
you doing?
hey, after the show, there, meat. I don't know.
Uh-oh.
Damn right, baseball
Uh-oh.
has the most seasons. That's because it's the greatest of all games.
It's the greatest game in the world. I mean, why do you think like if
I
we
love
can't play
Big
it
Clue. I'm sorry, man. I
ourselves?
gotta say this. I'm sorry. Hold your thought, buddy. Big Clue's firing him off, bud. He wins two tonight. He says we're not some Johnny Come Lately F ball league. Damn right. Damn right.
Damn straight.
Damn straight.
Damn straight.
We are.
That
So
is
what is that from the movie Sparta? Right? It says Sparta, baseball. So anyhow, the movie
Sparta,
300. That's
baseball,
it. 300. The movie
300.
300. Yeah.
This is our city. When,
I'm
yeah,
just losing
but
my
yeah,
shit here.
I will tell you though, on a personal note,
Hmm.
Pennsylvania was nice.
It's a lovely Commonwealth. I'm glad you liked it.
Our seeing Gettysburg
Mm.
to person like me who's fully blind,
Hmm.
I got to touch some of the monuments, as I said,
I think that's great. I think that's great.
and
No.
and it it basically was like you got a feel for because they tell you like the tour guy the car tour that we took, we saw the museum, which was cool first, and then we saw the what do they call it, we took the battlefield tour.
Hmm.
That was on Friday. We went to see the Hershey factory, which is cool because I got to make my own candy bar.
Nice. Yeah.
The cookie, I had some chocolate chip cookies in there. It's in the freezer right now. I better eat it soon before it gets too frozen. But
Right.
they we took a trolley car
Hmm.
to through the Hershey through Hershey.
Hmm.
We got to go in the factory. We took a car tour, which was cool. One of those factory cars,
Hmm.
and then we got to make our own candy bars. My dad made his own Reese's cup
Oh, nice. Nice.
with pretzel and double bacon.
If you guys come to the Commonwealth again, you come to this area, go to the Heritage Center. You'll love it. It's great.
I gotta. I
Now,
would have gone, but I wasn't the one that planned the vacation. But yet, I pitched. I said we should go to the Heritage Center. He's like, no, we already planned the vacation. I was like, okay, fine.
now that being said, if you really, really want to have fun in PA and have a lot to do, go to Pittsburgh. Buell Planetarium, Pittsburgh Zoo, catch the Pittsburgh Pirates. There's so much to do in Pittsburgh, and it's a fairly safe city. Fairly safe. But if you come to this area, definitely go to the Heritage Center if you guys ever come back up here again. The Heritage Center is brilliant. It's so much fun, and it's free.
Right.
Yeah. So, and that's
I'll have to
in
check that out.
Chambersburg, or not Chambersburg, Carlisle, Pennsylvania.
But
So,
yeah, like Pennsylvania was a very nice it was nice. It was a nice little experience. We never,
mhm.
like it took us 8 hours to get up there and 8 hours to get back. Of
Well,
course,
and up in northern Pennsylvania, I have family up in northern Pennsylvania, and there are mountain lions still up there. They have a couple mountain lions hanging out where my family lives up in
yes.
a little town. So everything north of Interstate 80 in Pennsylvania, except for Erie, like way off in the northwest corner, is pretty much like it's like most of Pennsylvania's population is south of 80. But yeah, up there are still mountain lions. There's some wolves, things like that, snicking around. But kind of cool. But I'm glad you liked Pennsylvania. I really do.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Um, what was his name? Yeah. What did Hank Greenwald, the Three River Stadium back in Pittsburgh, where was it the Allegheny,
Monongahela and
the
the Ohio. Yep,
Monongahela, and the Ohio River
yep.
make the three rivers that are right around the stadium and stuff? You could see the water.
Yeah, so Three River Stadium, where PNC Park is what's called the North Shore. And
Gosh.
so yeah, and so they come to a confluence called the Point, and it's got this big beautiful fountain there. It's called Point State Park, and it's across the river from
Wow.
PNC Park, and then where that other team plays another stupid game, like a mile down the road,
Not
with
Mm.
some silly long or some insurance company's name on it now. Used to be called Heinz Field, now it's something insurance, something whatever. I don't know, whatever it
It's
is.
Wussy Field.
What who?
Wussy Field.
I have no idea, but I'm glad you liked PA. It's
Oh man.
and
Yeah, like
there's tons of baseball in Pennsylvania. It's a big baseball state. I mean, baseball.
Phillies.
Oh my God, you got the Phillies, the Pirates, and you have so many minor league, like affiliated minor league teams. Plus, you have also just like independent minor leagues all over the Commonwealth of
Yeah,
Pennsylvania. It's
where
crazy.
where we have our team up here is an independent league team now. They get players that either were major league players at one point
Mhm.
or are over the hill,
Right.
I guess you could say. I
Or
mean,
guys that
we
weren't
had
good enough to make the affiliated minors.
weren't good enough for the affiliated minors, so the independent league snatched them up, and we had a Brandon Phillips who he's I think he's a his brother is the manager, I think, still of the team. So
Oh
he
yeah.
gets to, I think he plays every once in a while, but we had him, we had Tony Singrani play out here,
Mhm.
Jordan Pacheco, a lot of kids like guys that the major league they did not make the major leagues because they wanted to go somewhere and play,
Mhm.
but you know
It's
the
just, but I think that shows how tough. And John DFW adding, not to mention the Little League World Series, which is also here in PA.
I would love to go to that.
It's that's a big thing in Williamsport. And plus, up there too, Williamsport, Bowman Field, Babe Ruth played a game there. I think it's the oldest minor league park in the country, Bowman Field in Williamsport,
Bowman Field.
which is not where they play the Little League World Series though. But shows how tough baseball is, right? So we talk about guys that are scrubs that make it to the show, but these guys are elite athletes to even make it to the majors. One of the
You,
saddest things I saw was so Eric Yalding had a couple good years with the. I'm not an Astros fan at all, but
he was an
he had a couple
Astro.
years. And he had some. He had some speed for a couple years, but I saw him playing in an independent league, and I guess this little independent league team um, spent some pretty good coin to get Eric Yalding. And think about this: so you were in the show, and
Yes.
he got cut from an independent minor league roster in the middle of the season. He just didn't have it anymore.
Oh,
And I
damn.
remember, I mean, this guy could, he had a couple good seasons. He had some speed, but
That is sad.
yep, to get cut by an
If
independent
you get
league,
cut by an independent league team, you're not
yeah,
even cut out to make that.
in the middle of the season, it was,
Oh,
yeah, that hurts.
I
But
mean,
you know,
usually when a major league player gets cut from a team for sometime during the season, usually because of something stupid they did, like bad behavior or something like that.
no,
I
he
mean,
just
look,
didn't have it anymore. He was
didn't have it.
nah, just
You know,
he was getting thrown out at first by 3 steps. I mean, he just didn't have it anymore.
it'd be like if let's say I use his name and team as an example. If Otis Nixon got kicked off the Sioux Falls Canaries by middle of the season, he's not as fast anymore as he used to be.
No.
Um, Speaking of which, in my I played a game today with my Cincinnati club in 1990. We were playing Montreal at Cincinnati, and Andres Galarraga went deep.
Oh, the big cat.
Oh man, like you know, um, like like if you do a set the league rules to being like as played, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know if that messes anything up or not, but there's like as played alternate reality mode. I don't know what that is.
Oh, so the alternate reality mode is super cool, and I don't know any game that does this. So the idea behind alternate reality mode is you're using
Yeah,
actual rosters, but
yeah.
you can't you cannot go by the stats preseason. So Babe Ruth, for instance, might not hit 60 home runs in 1927. He might only hit 34. So it
Wow.
gives you, yeah. So it's another way to play um, with history, but in a way that now you've got to right. You can't just go in and say, okay, the 29 A's are going to steamroll, or the Amazons are going to win the pennant or win the World Series in 1969. In alternate reality mode, that might not happen. It shakes it up a little bit, and you can play the same season file and start it each time, and it's going to juggle it up, randomize it, not insanely, so that where Babe Ruth would only like hit one home run in 1927, but it shakes it up enough that it gives you some unpredictability, as if you were the manager going into that season, not knowing. So what alternate reality basically does is you don't know how Babe Ruth. Just use the 27 Yankees. You don't know how Ruth and Gehrig and Combs and Koenig and the rest are going to perform. They may.
The 90 Reds may not win the World Series.
Right. So the alternate reality mode's fun, and I don't know of any other game that does it. And anybody, at least digital, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know of any other game that has an alternate reality mode that Action
Yeah,
PC
like
has.
because I saw it. Like, what does this do? You know, because it's like because when I was playing my '94 season, which ended by the way on the 11th of August, it did not go any further.
Which is what it
It
did. Yep.
it's what it was supposed to do, yeah, because of the strike.
Right.
But I was playing the Red season, and I shouldn't be bringing him up all the time, but I do because he was part of the team. But we had Roberto Kelly at the start of the year at center field, and then at the end of May was when we got Deion Sanders, and he was producing, but not very frequently. I mean, it's like they, you know, I don't know if it's the what like because I had it set to be played as played instead of alternate reality. So naturally, it made the move to get Dion, and like I mean, Kevin Mitchell was hitting 19 home runs, and then as usual, it skipped the All Star game, but I don't know how to set that up.
You have to. Yeah, that's in league setup. Oh, Big Clue giving me a correction. Thank you, my friend. He says that the oldest minor league ballpark is not Bowman. It's actually Jackie Robinson Field in Daytona Beach. So whatever it was called then before Jackie Robinson, because Bowman was around in 1920 something or other. So that park in Daytona has got to be older than
Jackie Robinson, the first black Major League Baseball player.
And Gerard Butler is
league.
now in the welcome section of the Discord. Says Big Clue.
Gerard Butler.
Yeah. So good stuff. And Sean, aka World's Worst Gamer, said he wants to try alternate reality sometime for sure. Yeah, the idea Robbie's asking, so alternate reality mode might not be as accurate then. No, that's the idea. So
that's the point.
So the
it's
players,
not supposed to be
right?
accurate.
So the players are still. I mean, so Babe Ruth is still going to be a power hitter, right? And what have you, and Lou Gehrig, but it's going to be the numbers, right? So let me see. Actually, we might even be able to find because I don't want to mess this up here. Let me see here, and because I want to read exactly what it does. But it's really really cool. I would love to. It's not that. We don't want to mess with that. Um, damn it. Where do you set that up at, or where does it talk? Is it under rules? Oh, it's under rules.
You go to the leagues, and there's
rules. Okay,
yeah,
so here it goes.
Rules.
Okay, so here it goes, guys. So I'm going to bring this over to my other screen. You guys don't need to see that. I'll just read it to you. Alternate reality mode enables a new style of season replay, which produces additional levels of strategic depth. In this mode, results are driven by hidden ratings rather than by raw statistics. These ratings are based on actual statistics, but with some random variation. For example, a 300 hitter in real life will usually be rated to hit about 300, but will sometimes be better and sometimes worse. Ratings are generated each time a new season begins, so no two replays will ever be the same. This system encourages more realistic manager and general manager decisions. For example, if a real-life 270 hitter hits only 240 in the first month of the season, the manager might consider moving him down in the batting order or giving the backup more playing time. In other modes, the manager would know that the backup, who hit 260 in real life, is, all else being equal, simply not as good. Ratings are generated for batting averages, walks, strikeouts, home runs, doubles, triples, and durability for both batters and pitchers. So, yeah, so there you go. That alternate reality mode is really neat. I've never messed with it yet either. That might cause me offline to do a season replay and have some fun with it, just to see what happens. And it will randomize each time, so you could play, if you wanted to, 1929 29 times, and right, it's going to be different each time. And I think that's cool. And I like that Dave gives you that option, because you have guys like Clinton Parks, who does everything as played. Alternate reality mode is not like that.
Alternate reality mode, no transactions,
Right.
major transactions, all transactions. Then there's as played.
Exactly. Yeah. So there's 5 game modes within this, which is really cool.
Yeah, I think
So Robbie, without spoiling too much, I know that you're an early adopter of Out of the Park Baseball 24. Without spoilers, just generally, what do you think about it? What are your thoughts on Out of the Park 24? I mean, I've seen some gameplay footage. It looks nice. It's definitely sharper looking. The animations are better. I've seen like there's little animations like the pitcher will like pardon me a second. The pitcher will like walk off the mound, for instance. Um, it seems like there's more fluid motion as well. That's what I'm seeing. Um, so that's cool. But wait, we'll let Robbie here type for a little bit and just give us some general impressions without many major spoilers. But what I've seen, it looks great. The interface looks cleaner. I can't wait. Now, of course, we're doing our draft, so what I'm gonna do is get home from work on Friday afternoon and buy that sucker on Steam and at least play a game just to get a feel. I mean, I'm really excited for Out of the Park 24. 23 was a bit of a weird. So, but it looks like a lot of people are saying that this is correcting a lot of mistakes that were in Out of the Park 23. Robbie says, hard to do without spoilers, but yes, the animations look nice. A thing or two he'd like to see Marcus fix, but it's looking good. Nice, nice, nice. They said that they were doing a lot of work on the historical strategies, things like that. So for those of us who play older baseball, looking forward to that, folks. Playing, you want to play 2023. It's cool that you can play right along with it. But that's been an Out of the Park now for the past three, I think, past three editions of it. So, all right, Robbie, big clue, maybe getting he says maybe getting baseball for Windows, and so good stuff. So, Robbie, thank you for that little thought. We can certainly talk more about it on Friday. I do want to try to look in it, get in it. I'm sure. I mean, our Red Sox fan, if you guys are interested, I'm sure he's probably going to do it. Although I don't know if he's going to do it opening night or not, or like when it. So I don't know. We'll see. One of us will be doing it, but you'll get to see maybe two different perspectives because Al plays it a little, plays it a little differently than I do. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah. Um, Big Clue says in 2023, older baseball refers to just about anything before the Manfred era. Isn't that true?
Oh
Isn't
man,
that
don't get me
true?
started on Manfred.
Oh, I don't want to get
Down with
anybody
Manfred.
started on that.
Idiot.
Yeah,
Idiot.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, like he is not a. I don't think he's a baseball fan, really. I
Big
mean, they
Clue
just brought
talked
him.
about that he was rumored he was going to be out of the closet about that, but that who knows? Anyhow, neither here nor there.
To,
So, a
I
couple of
mean,
recaps. We got a couple things going on. Obviously, this, which Philadelphia looking to even up tomorrow. We have the KCCL tournament. We'll be continuing with that. In fact, we should look where we are on that one right now. So, boom. Look at our playoff bracket. And we have a couple other things going. So, right now, so we're into the second game of round one, and the 1911 Philadelphia A's and 1912 Boston Red Sox are tied at one game each. When we play the KCCL again, it'll be the 1904 Giants and the 1908 Cleveland Naps. So the Giants holding a one-game to nothing lead there. And first round is best of three. What else do we have? We have that 1962 Mets experiment where we put four Negro League players on the 1962 Mets, and we're gonna kind of see how that plays out. Play out a couple games, sim most of them. Um, we have, of course, the Howie Shanks. We had to do Howie Shanks for Steve Tate. So the Howie Shanks Bingo League. The draft will continue for that Friday night. So hopefully most of you can be here. Those that can't be here, you'll get assigned years. But hopefully you can because you could maybe miss that Hall of Fame you want. Although we are going to allow trades for like maybe a week after the draft is over. Everybody can go into trades in the
Yes.
Howie Shanks thing. The Negro League All-Star game, I have not forgotten about. That was supposed to come up. That was supposed to come up next week, but um, with everybody kind of not so gently pushing us to do the draft the other night, I'm glad it happened. We're That's going to give Steve some time because he's also going to be making. He's going to be splitting the Negro League players up now into years for that random number generator because in rounds 24 and 25 of this Howie Shanks Bingo League, those last two rounds are going to be devoted exclusively to Negro League players. So that'll be fun. That's going to be fun. And that means some other projects that I wanted to do are going to be shelved for way down the line now. And in fact, some of them might not even happen, like the all-time uh, global baseball extravaganza or whatever. That
Global baseball
Yeah,
extravaganza.
that's probably not.
Hey.
That's probably not even going to happen this year. So,
Shoot.
but a lot of fun things coming up in the channel, and you know, um, I do want to start giving some love back to some other baseball games as well. So, yeah,
I
that's what's
was
coming up.
talking I was talking to Robbie on this Discord one day about
Hmm.
actually I think it was on history. And we were talking about baseball for Windows because it was one of his games that he was playing,
Oh,
and we were
yeah.
talking about Ernie's like name vernacular stopping at 97 apparently
Yeah,
from what
that's
he's
yeah. Hmm. Hmm.
so like a lot of the like Japanese names probably aren't said that much because they weren't around much in the 90s except for maybe you had Shigetoshi Hashigawa or
There's
somebody
a
like that,
few.
but
There's a few. So
huh,
the further you get away, so really, so with baseball for Windows, right? If you still want to keep with Ernie mostly announcing, you're good for I would say at least 5 to 6 years even after that. It's but now, right? So like, but even now, right? You have right. So you're gonna have Aaron Judge in there because there was a
yes,
Joe Judge who played baseball. Mike
yeah,
Trout.
you could
Well,
do
there was
that.
a Dizzy Trout. So but there are players in there where, and I've heard games, and he says that, and that to me is why I don't buy seasons for that game because it's a little too jarring. It's weird. I wish they would have
There
just.
is no guy named India, so it would just be Jonathan I.
Well, he doesn't even say the first. It's just and Z is coming to
It would
bat
just be
now,
I.
right? So
Yeah,
but I figure with the other games I have, I really there's enough baseball and baseball for Windows that I don't need to buy any seasons because I can.
right. I mean, you got
You got I've created everything with the encyclopedia. I spent like 3 weeks. I didn't do the 19th century yet, but every season from 1900 to 1997, and then I created a bunch of other stuff too. And that was fun. I
wow.
yeah, I actually bought an old laptop on eBay for like $95, and then I put a virtual machine on it because I didn't want a virtual machine messing with this computer because I use it
Messing with
for
this
music and
computer, yeah.
art production as well. And
Oh,
I actually bought it for the sole purpose of creating seasons for baseball for Windows,
base. Wow.
or getting
Eh,
those in. Now that they're all in 5.75, I can do draft leagues and anything I want. But I needed that to do the encyclopedia import of the teams. But that's how much
I
I do
still,
love the game. Is it's like, okay, I
of
have to find
course.
this. So I found a Vista machine and put an XP virtual machine on it. And now that I've got, it's just sitting here. I'm not even using it anymore. So
You know, I still remember. Was it the one of the games you did of baseball for Windows? And I was on the stream with you during the game, and I think it was Atlanta and St. Louis. I think it was, and it was the '92 Braves. So that the team that all Pirates fans hate,
yeah,
obviously,
yeah.
for reasons that everybody already knows. I don't need to explain it. But I swear to you, Ernie said, running for somewhere in the game, Ernie said, and now pinch running for Olsen will be Sanders. And I was like, hey, there's Dion. Because I said, we're probably going to see Dion Sanders at some point in this game because and after I said, I thought there ain't no way they're going to let Dion catch. So they brought in the Barry Hill instead, which of course they did. But when you have like, you know, of course, what is it? Sparky Anderson, Connie Mack, Earl Weaver, the manager, because they mentioned managers' names in the game too. I think they do, anyways.
Hmm.
Was it Earl Weaver, Connie Mack, Sparky Anderson, Connolly?
For what? Baseball for Windows?
Yeah,
Dude,
for Windows.
there are thousands, literally thousands of managers available for that game. Literally.
Uh, I mean, you could like, I mean, it's so interesting because like watching people play it on YouTube, it's like, I would love to get in on that just to try it.
You'll get it. You just gotta be patient, dude. A little
I
patient.
know, I know.
Like
I
I
am,
told you, I
and believe
wanted
me.
because at that point we didn't know that they were gonna finally kicking and screaming. I want to answer Big Clue's question real quick. He says, or his comment, so I have an answer for it. He says, so you got a Circa 96 laptop for your Circa 96 game. How much older PC do you need for Strat's game? Well, my answer to that, Big Clue, is I just ordered a really nice Abacus, and it's on its way.
The old abacus. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's where,
Fifth
yeah, Robbie,
grade.
Digital Skybox is where you literally find thousands of managers. And I'm not exaggerating, there are thousands. It's crazy how many
Fifth.
managers are on there.
I remember the abacus. Fifth grade.
Oh, you gotta
Moving
love
all
the
them
Abacus, man.
dots around and shit.
Yeah. Yep, so that's for the
Oh my.
Strat PC game. No, but actually, so Big Clue, after you do the encyclopedia import and you convert everything to 5.75, you actually don't need the encyclopedia import anymore. So, I'm keeping it around just for maybe I might find some old game that it's like it doesn't run on a modern system and I can't be arsed to try to fight with it. So I'm keeping it for that. But it served its
But you were
purpose. It was so I
sure.
figured out what it would have cost me to buy every season in baseball, and I'm not cheating because I have a legit older like I have baseball for Windows. The disc that I use I think is 5.0. So I was doing legit what you're allowed to do, but it would have cost me like something like $3,000 to buy all the seasons for baseball for Windows.
Woo!
Yep.
My.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're
that's
not
just
they're not cheap. They're like the
uh
seasons are up around there uh with PC replay baseball.
Oh,
So yeah,
I
it's
mean,
a lot of money.
but you were saying about kicking and
That's a
screaming.
Roland 88 Phantom workstation, buddy. So and I'd rather have that than spend $3,000 on baseball seasons. I do have
I
certain
still,
priorities.
when I was a kid, I still remember the old Apple computer, that big giant keyboard with the keys that were like just huge, and you had this little like you had this big giant monitor in the middle of it. Plus, you had this little teeny square speaker with the volume control and the pitch bender. The Did you ever have one of those? Like
No, I
the old Apple?
hated
You didn't.
apples,
You hated apples.
hated them,
Uh,
hated them.
yeah. Like, I mean,
Still do.
when I where I was in school, that's what when I started at KSB. When I was in school, that's what we had was the Apple computer.
Yeah.
Um, then there was, of course, now they've all. I don't know what it looks like now because I've not been on campus since I graduated. But they've changed a lot since then.
Hmm.
I mean, but when I was a kid, I remember our first computer was an old Packard Bell Navigator. I think we had Windows 95 back then
Okay.
because DOS was largely going out for the most part.
Yeah, but you could still run
Um,
DOS fully though on those Windows 95 machines. What I
uh,
wish Microsoft would do, and they won't. Do you know what I would love for them to do for gamers? Create an all-encompassing operating system. Make the ultimate gaming machine. It's like here it is. Now you can run everything again. Because in Microsoft, you have to. Because that's why DOSBox had to come around in virtual machines because Microsoft was just like, feck off, mates. Sorry about your collection of software, whether it's games or whatever, but you can't play it anymore, bastards. Um, Big Clue has me enticed about something here. He says
mhm.
that he and we're going to save it for another stream. He says he wants to talk about a baseball sim we never mention around here. He says, but we'll save it for another broadcast. Looking forward, because I'm really curious about. He says about one that we don't talk about around here, and
I wonder what that is.
yeah, I guess he's gonna make us wait. He's gonna make us wait.
Ah, the suspense.
The
Like
suspense.
I love a good sim baseball game as much as the next guy, but
Hmm.
like arcade games are like so fast. I mean,
Hmm.
like if you play, like let's say you play, I'm trying to think of a good arcade baseball game from like the 80s or 90s, like RBI baseball, for example. You can finish it because RBI, like I have the Sega Genesis version of RBI 3, 4, 93, and 94 on the Genesis.
Uh huh.
And those games can be high scoring affairs.
Oh sure.
I mean, but like that's not really a simulated game. It's more of an arcade feel because it's like the sounds the game makes and everything. And but like like I tell you, MLB 10 the show and 11 the show, for example, I've played both of those.
Hmm.
I've got them still on disc on my PS3, but they were almost real. I mean, the games were about the length of an actual game on TV.
Hmm.
There was the running clock was realistic because you would like it would you could see it on the screen. It was like I love to play game like it was so real almost. A game could be done and back in the day a game could be finished in about less than an hour,
Uh
give
huh.
or take.
Right.
Whereas with this, it's about the length of a full game.
Sure.
Um, when you play in MLB 10 the show, you play a game in Tampa Bay. They have the fans that have those little rattles.
Right.
The rattles and the little guy with the cowbell. I think they started doing that a few years ago. But no, when a video game captures the aesthetic of a certain place, like Shea Stadium, planes flying overhead, um, you know, or Tampa Bay, the Rattlers
Hmm.
and the cowbells and all that stuff. Um, what they'd never ever got in the games was Edison Field and the Thundersticks.
Hmm.
Do you remember those? The balloon Thundersticks,
Um.
where
Yes. Yes. I. Yeah. I think I do. Hmm.
because you bang them together and then they like people banging together at once sound like a big thunderstorm.
Hmm.
Because I remember like we were watching what was it the '02 playoffs
Hmm.
and during the Angels games I kept hearing this weird noise. I'm like, what is that? Finally, I was like, and then my brother's like, those are thundersticks.
Hmm.
I said, what? And he goes, it's a I said, what is a thunderstick? And he goes, it's a balloon like object. It's like a stick, and you bang them together. They give you two, and you bang them together. It sounds like, and when the more people do it at once, it sounds like a thunderclap and stuff.
Right.
But then the next season in Lexington, we had thunder like the night after opening night,
Hmm.
we had Thunderstick night, and I'm thinking this is only going to be a one night thing because they're never going to do this again.
Right. Right.
I mean, that's like the Thunderstick, the Homer Hanky, the Nakahoma drum.
Hmm.
I mean, it's like you don't hear it's like you go to a game now. I am totally against all the bullshit rules they put in the game these days
Hmm.
with the pitch clock and the extra inning rule with a man on. I hate that rule.
Yeah.
I wish they would just stop that. I mean, it's are they trying to speed the game up intentionally? I know they have to appeal to TV time, but
Right.
you know,
Let's
I don't know.
let's
I
talk
just
about
don't know.
this game from Mr. Big Clue.
Big
And that
clue.
would be Dynasty League Baseball. So Big Clue, tell us why you love it, man. If you love it, I've
Dynasty.
got a little bit of time. So that's the sim that he wants to talk about. Is Dynasty League because he gave me the
Big
guy's
clue says
name and it's like,
thunder
oh yeah,
sticks.
yeah, yeah. So what about Dynasty League Baseball? I mean, we can continue this in another broadcast, but just want to get your thoughts on it. I've never played it because I'm under the impression it's just online head-to-head only, which is why I've never
You
played
ever
it.
heard of micro? You ever heard of micro league? Not micro league, but Microsoft Baseball.
Yep. Yeah.
That was a Windows game, I think, from
Yes,
what
it
I
was.
read.
Yep.
I thought it was an Xbox game
It
because
was. It
I
was around. It was. Oh my God. Microsoft Baseball was in the mid '90s. So remember,
the 2000
I'm an '80s kid. You're a '90s kid. So
because
yeah, it was. No, it was in the mid '90s, dude. It was in the mid '90s.
mid
I
'90s.
played it.
The last one was MSB 2001.
Was it?
Uh, because I asked my girlfriend at the time, my girlfriend to help me look for it on the internet, and I was looking at it online, and I was like, no, honey, it's not an Xbox game. Forget it. It's a Windows game.
Hmm. So Big Clue saying here, I don't, never played, uh, but he's the inventor of Pursuit of the Pennant. Yes, he is, and that's yeah, great game. Mike Selinsky left and did Dynasty League later on, while Tom Tippett turned the Pursue the Pennant system into Diamond Mine. He says he sees them as similar. It's a nice looking game. Let's bring it up here for folks to see what Dynasty League looks like. It's pretty cool. So so you guys can see some. Um, hopefully this will switch over here, um, so you guys can see what is up with Dynasty League.
Big Clue says it's pricey as hell.
Yes, it is. It is.
It's all online and it's pricey as hell.
Yeah. So yeah,
Oof.
you join. Yeah, you can create your own league. Play a season with any of our 50 or our 30. Yeah, damn it. So I'm getting tired now. 34 historical seasons. So yeah, but it's a nice looking game. And actually, not just here, but
Wow.
I don't see anybody talking about this game. You can even play it on Android and phones and stuff like that.
Android. Like they got baseball games for mobile phone like baseball apps for mobile phone.
Mm.
Game wise, I saw I think it was like a home run derby game on I think it's an iDevice,
Hmm.
but I think it was like, you know, I don't know. I think it was like a ESPN thing or something like that.
Hmm.
It came out in the late 2010s, I believe.
Hmm.
What was that guy's name? Dan Showman did the commentary for that.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, like I'm going to be watching the MLB Network a lot this year because I want to see, of course, if they show Yankees games, I'm not going to watch because I hate the Yankees. Those damn Yankees. He hates the Yankees. Yeah.
Yeah, Big Clue. I totally agree with you. So nobody talks about it because you're paying for a license to use it. Yep, if I understand it correctly, you don't own it, and you don't. And yeah, I don't know what. I mean, you can see here. I mean, it's. I kind of wish it was something that you wouldn't have to play online because it looks like something that, even though I'm kind of about the limited number of seasons, it looks like a nice game. You look at you guys can see here on. I mean, the cards are like super dense. There's all kinds of stuff going on here. But yeah,
Cards. My gosh. The
it's
old baseball
nothing
cards.
wrong with that. I mean, but
Oh, no.
it's really gonna it for me. So you can either play games, live games head to head, or you can sim your series. So that just doesn't really. You know why? The other reason why I would be. I mean, it's nice looking, but I can play head to head with anybody in action PC baseball. So Robbie and
Mm,
I used to have this discussion a lot, and for me, you know, a game's got to really pop. It's got to have something special for me. I mean, I know Steve said, "Hey, you can afford to buy them all," and I mean, these aren't. I mean, at least the basic games themselves, they're not. It's not like they're a lot of money, but as I told Robbie, it's got to be something special for me to really invest in, and so I've done that with Diamond Mind, and I've done that with Action PC. And I do buy Out of the Park and now every year and stuff like that. But
mm.
yeah, everybody tells me about PC Replay Baseball, and I think people that are having fun with it, I think that's brilliant and all that. But you know, for what they charge for a season, it better do a hell of a lot more than what Action PC does and
Oh
what Out of
yeah,
the Park does, and even for that matter, what Baseball for Windows does. And I've watched our Red Sox play it, saw a couple other YouTube guys play it, and it's basically an expensive conversion. Um, when you talk about the seasons, um, what's nice about it is, yeah, they actually make you play the demo before you buy it, which I think is very cool of them. But
right.
it just doesn't
That way,
it
if you
doesn't.
don't like it, you could just get rid of it.
Yep.
You
It's
know.
just like Robbie Wartburg has said that Action PC is not his favorite game. PC Replay Baseball I've tried twice. I don't like it. It's not anything wrong with the game. I think it's personal taste. And I also know that Robbie has informed me with PC Replay Baseball, there are limitations to what you can do. Um,
Yeah.
and I don't want to be limited. And I'm not limited by the like what even if I include base or old time baseball. So I'm not limited with Digital Diamond. I'm not limited with even Dombrov. And he's never gotten back to me. I'm guessing he probably maybe didn't like the even though we gave him uh, you know pretty constructive criticism and everything. I don't know that Richard will implement those changes or not, but I'm going to buy it. I'll keep getting the updates. I don't have to pay for it. I just don't want to be limited. I really, really, really don't. Um,
Mm.
Big Clue says, what I hear about PC replays, the cards and dice people love its main program for entering stats, but I don't see a robust PC community. Neither do I. Um, and I guess that's the thing. Yeah, and not just everyone willing to blow the cash on a gamble. Same here. Hey, there's yeah, Todd B. I know it's must be a YouTube thing because I had announced a couple of nights we were doing our bingo league draft that I'd be going on earlier. So tomorrow night is going to be the same deal. I might go on a little later tomorrow night, guys. So tomorrow night might start the game around 9:30. We'll go live
Nine
somewhere around
thirty.
there, around 9:30 Eastern. So
Game two of the Ned McGreevy World Series
yeah,
between
yep. So game one is
Manchester at Philadelphia.
yeah. Well, it'll be yeah, but yeah. Well, tomorrow will be Manchester at Philadelphia. Yes,
Yeah,
tonight was Philadelphia at Manchester.
yeah.
So,
Game one's in the books.
but yeah, I mean, I just I I do I think Big Clue's right. I get a sense that the people that really play PC replay baseball play the game like the cards and dice game. But I mean, Robbie likes it, and I mean that's awesome. I find it very 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 limiting. Not only just the weird season selection that they have, but their prices are like so. The game out of the rip is $52.95 just for the base game,
Woo,
and
man.
you get a season with it, one season. So compare that to what Dave charges for Action PC baseball. Prices in the seasons are $26.95 per season.
Good
These guys,
grief.
I've never seen a sale on here. Now some of the older seasons, they do. There's a few of them that are like $13.95,
Ugh,
but the
excuse me.
13.95, yep, so like there's a 2000, they're called collector's choice, and they give you eight, like so the 2001 collector's choice gives you the 8 2001 playoff teams plus San Francisco for $14. That's more than what Dave Cook charges for an entire season, right? So 26.95 per season, and and there's this like weird gap too. So they have these memorable matchups. All right, you get 18 teams for 26.95, right? And when you start adding that up, they have what one? They have six volumes. So who's good at math here, right? So what is six times 18, 48. So this costs more than baseball's top 160 teams. That's only $25. $25. and you get 180 teams for Action PC or 160 teams, right? So
Mm.
then, right, you get this, you get 1908, and then jumps to like the 1923 Negro League, then the
Wow.
Diamond Decades, which is it's just like a whole mashup of people, and then seasons. Then the next one is 1928, then 30, then 34, and then I guess screw the rest of the 30s. We have 1941, 44, 48. Then it jumps, and then it goes from 50 onward, just like inside pitch in those games.
50
And
all the way up to today.
it's yeah, all the way up to today, but it's like, oh my God. And I've watched enough of this game being played. It's like, okay, but what does it do that Action PC baseball doesn't do, or out of the park? Why
Mm.
why would I want to play it? I just don't see why. I'm not knocking the
Wow.
game. For me, it's just it's kind of like eh. But I can point out enough differences between, or among, I should say, proper grammar here, among Out of the Park, Action PC, Diamond Mine, and Baseball for Windows. And let's throw old time baseball into the mix. There's enough difference in those games, right? And then add in Digital Diamond. Well, okay, now I've got the dice covered. This is a dice game, and even Dombrov. For me, and Steve Tate said the same thing. He couldn't even get a game running. And I know Robbie did a tutorial on his channel, but it didn't actually get into actually playing a game, as I can remember showing the interface.
Wow.
And it's really good. It's really good. Robbie's video on PC Replay is good, but it's just not for me, and I can't justify the prices for these seasons. It's insane. I know they need to make money, but god damn. And sorry,
That's
yeah.
nuts. That is nuts. Uh, but no,
I don't
like
know either. Big
this is
clue why Mike doesn't sell Dynasty Leagues as a product instead of a service. Who knows? Yeah. So 108. Thank you, Big Clue. He says he gets physical cards being more costly for seasons with more players. Right. But the only price difference for digital is really around any extra research hours that go into the season. That is to say, or, right? He means yeah. For example, Diamond Mine. But I mean, Diamond Mine baseball, right? I mean, they're not exactly cheap either. But I mean, I've bought a lot of stuff for Diamond Mine baseball, and I don't
mm,
regret it, even though it's not one that can really play here. But if you go to their catalogs, they have classic pass seasons and deluxe pass seasons. So if you want, the difference between those is the deluxe pass seasons have transactions in the lineups. But if you look at their classic pass seasons, they're cheaper than PC Replay. They're $20 a season. Still more expensive than
mm,
Action PC. But you know, there's and they're a cool company. They've allowed the 1876 and 1926 to remain as homebrews. If you go to their deluxe pass seasons, where is it? There we go. These are still $2 cheaper, and it goes back to let's go back to. I mean, it's got a lot of seats, so this goes. I don't know. It's in all kind of weird order here. But I don't know. I just don't. I don't see. But as far as Dynasty League, I have no idea. I mean, are there a lot of people even play Dynasty League baseball? I have no idea.
it's
Let's go
me.
back to it. There we go. They continue to improve, upgrade older seasons, and they have regular sales and the anytime bulk discount pricing. Yeah, Action PC baseball, man. So
Mm, mm.
you know, considered the best, most accurate sim out there, and he has a huge collection of past Diamond Mine seasons. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I just it doesn't run certain systems mainly. Yeah, so you'd have to use a virtual machine for it, Todd B. You're absolutely right. It's I don't know. I don't. I mean, Steve Tate says this all the time, and I know it is about play what you like, but as far as the digital realm goes, if you don't have Action I still don't understand like folks that don't have Action PC baseball. that like to play digital baseball. It's my question always is why? Why don't you? I mean, oh my God, the things that we've been able to do in Action PC, and I'm just looking at like down the lower left corner, Aaron. There's a box where it will have like the stuff that you've done most recently, and I don't know.
Hmm.
I can't. There is nothing because you can even create players in this. There is absolutely nothing I can imagine in terms of a baseball world that I couldn't do. Well, it might take a lot of work, but I can do it in Action PC Baseball. I mean, if I wanted to take the time and do all the stats, I could do the All American Girls Professional Baseball League in Action PC Baseball. Look what Steve Tate has done with the Negro Leagues. You cannot do that in PC Replay Baseball. Now, I will say this, and I'll concede. Maybe the folks don't want that. Maybe they don't want that. Okay, that's fine. But I don't know, man. Robbie said something about you
That's
can't, or
nuts.
you either you cannot, or it's really hard to do homebrew seasons in PC Replay Baseball. That to me, right there, is pardon me, is a big forget it. If I can't do homebrew seasons on it, I'm not interested. I am absolutely not interested in it at all. Then, so Pim99 says he's been playing Action PC since 2009. Just gotten better and better over the years. It sure has. It's great, and I think this one is best bang for the buck overall. Well, okay. You still got to put out of the park baseball in there too because you get stuff that. But so I would say, and I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just adding out of the park baseball as well. Great bang for the buck, and it's getting better. But Action PC has finally eclipsed it. It's my favorite. I mean, look. So up on the screen now is our Ned McGreevy All Star Game, and so it started out with our Ned McGreevy Nuffseds from Dublin, right? And we're going to play
Right.
so we played the 1929 Philadelphia A's, but then we start adding in other teams. There's enough teams in this now to actually make this a season. Just all over the place, right? So like we have the 1972 Tigers in there. Um, it's like we have all these. It's just actually I'm going to get rid of one of these Tiger teams, but I I can't think of anything Major League Baseball that I couldn't do here. Um, yeah, I mean that baseball history collection is
Mm.
awesome just on its own. Even if you didn't buy every season in this game, you buy the game, you buy the baseball history collection, buy baseball's top 160 teams, get Steve Tate's files, and you've got enough baseball already for 10 lifetimes. And yeah, right?
It's yeah. I was just wondering, is there a way in APB to skip to a certain part of the game?
Hmm. Wait,
Like,
is what?
could you? Is there a way in Action Piece of Baseball to like skip to a certain inning of a game?
Geez, I'd have to start up a game to see. I don't remember because
Without
I've never done it. I play them out.
right, because I tried. I did something and I want to see if it actually worked
Hmm.
just now.
Yeah, I don't really know, and I mean I've got to close this
So
off in
I'm
about
just
five
curious.
minutes. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Hey, I think I'm gonna go ahead and go because my girlfriend wants to spend time with me before.
dude, that is important. You do that, everybody. How about a little hashtag, a little love for Aaron Reed, and thanks him for
Send me the love. I appreciate it.
coming in tonight, and we'll get you on another broadcast soon, dude. All right?
We gotta shoot the crack more often, man.
Yeah, we will. We
I,
will.
I'd like more seasons for APV though.
Well, we'll talk about that in
Sure,
chat.
man.
Okay?
All right, man.
All right,
Well,
everybody giving some
I'm gonna
love
step on
here.
out. Thank you for the love. I appreciate it. Go whoever's gonna. Tomorrow's gonna be a good game, and we'll see you soon, brother.
All right, buddy. We'll catch you soon, pal. Good night, Aaron.
See ya.
All right,
Bye.
bye. Okay, Aaron is off with his female particle now. Absolutely. So he played the PC game for a while. Todd B says, visually beautiful, Deal breakers for him or the inability to roll your own dice and enter it, and no autoplay. He's talking about Dynasty League. It is a nice looking game. Everybody's saying thank you to Aaron. Awesome. Okay, so you can zoom to end inning. I've just never tried it because when I play a game, I just play it out. So nice to know. I don't know. I know I sound like a shill, and a few of us here sound like a shill for Dave Cook, but is there really, if you take away the animation of out of the park baseball, all right, and the fact that yeah you can every season is included, which it's one of the other reasons I love it too, and it is pretty damn accurate. But I can't think of a more feature-rich game than Action PC, and I think that really dawned on me, guys, with Steve Tate's crazy work on those 5-year franchise files and now the Negro Leagues. I can't even imagine attempting that in any other baseball program, and that includes baseball for Windows. You just can't, you couldn't do that in baseball for Windows. You could take Steve's work and edit every player, Robbie Wertberg, if you wanted to do that. But to actually do that, and then with the ease that you can do other things with this program, I mean, I just don't see why people don't play it. But then those people would say, well, I don't see why you don't play PC Replay. So at the end of the day, I guess the argument's rather pointless. Big Clue says, you're right about out of the park. Can't beat the price. Just never care for the graphic style, and you don't trust the AI rating system they use. Supposedly getting better this year. We'll see. Yeah, I have. Oh my God, Diamond Mine's engine is great. Although I still have to look at the anomaly because we had some anomalous results. Um, Robbie did Diamond Mine, the Ned McGreevy League in Diamond Mine, and there was just anomalies all over the place. But and I don't think that's Robbie's fault. I just want to. I have to look at that zip file and see what that was all about. But yeah, well, Diamond Mine was like, I mean, ESPN, Elias Sports Bureau, all these places used to use Diamond Mine baseball to predict seasons, and it was uncannily accurate. And I shouldn't talk about it in the past tense. It's a great game, but it's just not a game you can do in a live broadcast, unfortunately. Big Clue says, ultimately, I think any PC game that's based on a card game, for example, Stratomatic APA PC Replay, is a limitation on the game engine. Yeah, I mean, I think so. Now, that being said, I've played 2 of the 3, and this isn't just because it has Ernie Harwell's voice. I would say that Baseball for Windows is far more flexible than Stratomatic and PC Replay. But yeah, I mean, I find that the games that if I'm going to play them digitally, I want them to be straight up digital games, and that's what Action PC and Out of the Park and Diamond Mine they are. And Baseball for Windows, real and not Baseball for Windows, but old time baseball. Although you play that more for fun. That's not a hyper accurate engine. I mean, you know, there's no switch hitters in the game, for instance. But I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree with you, and I just don't know. Um, I don't get it when I mean if I went to his site right now, there's something on sale all the time, but it's not just about the money. It's about the quality. It's about what I mean. You get right now. I mean, whatever the baseball history collection is going for, and believe me, I just want to buy it again or just buy it just to kind of support. But um, I don't know. I don't understand. Never will. Anyhow, guys, how come we have 2 Chicago? Who's the other Chicago team we have on here? We got to do some fixing here. It seems like we have the 1951 Chicago Cubs or Chicago White Sox twice. That's kind of silly. Wait a minute. Oh no, we don't. Okay. is looking in the same division. Anyhow, back. Yes, Dave has a great product, great price, great customer service, and always working on improving the game. And he even provides updates, like he keeps updating older versions too. What game company does that? He says Stratomatic is more accurate than APA cards and dice, so why wouldn't the APA PC um, be more accurate? So why would the I don't. Well, again, is it? Steve and I talked about this, and I mean they're both great baseball engines. So what? I'm not sure which one's more accurate. Um, I've never played enough of either of the cards and dice version of the game to say which is more accurate. I know that I've played more baseball for Windows. Now we're back in the digital realm. I spent a year with Stratomatic PC Baseball and APA, and I loved what came out of APA, but I don't know. I don't know which is more accurate. It'd be nice if Ken was still around here. He's a big APA player. Maybe he could speak to it, but I don't know. But yeah, best customer service. Todd B says he used to hate closed engines, but he's come around thanks to Action PC. At the same time, he doesn't understand the why we can't show how we got there mentality. Hmm. But yeah, you're right about Dave Cook, about the customer service, about the great product, about everything. It's my only complaint about Dave is he'll start these awesome things like, yes, I really want that, and it never gets finished. 2 All-Star games, only 8 Negro League seasons, things like that. It's like, come on, man. You can make these things faster than we homebrew people can. So just do it. Better product, okay. Not everyone's values the same things equally for me. Yeah, for you. Gotcha. Gotcha. All right. So complaint about Dave as he gets sidetracked by other sports. I know, right? Dude, just give up those 3 lesser the other what lesser sports does he do? Because he does golf too. That's gonna honk some people off, but there you go. Wow, Steve Tate's wishing for an actual like an Ernie Harwell type narrator for Action PC. But I mean, except if he wanted to start to stray into animation territory, which I don't think I would rather him not do it. I mean, look, how cool is this? He even gives like there's right out of the box. There's for user mods. It's already in the game now. It's baked into the game. He does this huge thing, the batter versus pitcher matchup analysis. And all the reports. You guys have seen the reports that get generated here, and you've caught other streams like from Steve Tate, and I mention him a lot. He's Big Clue. These guys that really know this game inside out, and it's just insane what you can do. I mean, I'm like 4 menus down now for running reports. It's so robust. Basketball, F-ball, hockey, and golf. Those are the other 4. Okay. Yeah, he does get sidetracked. Like, dude, really, just stay with baseball. Stay with baseball, Dave. And just develop baseball all year. We'll be happy. So, a week from, it is still Wednesday for another minute. So we're almost there, baseball season. You're a fan, not an expert. Well, you're a very well-informed fan, as everybody is in here. So don't sell yourself short, bud. Don't sell yourself short. Oh man, tell me about it. The scheduling thing. ran into a snafu at the beginning of the stream that the schedule was all wonked around and like, yeah. The scheduling thing is, for me, is this game's Achilles heel. But now that being said, at least he's updating all the past seasons and stuff like that with as played schedules, lineups, all that kind of thing. But the schedule thing, the best scheduler that I've run into is Baseball for Windows. That thing is so super flexible. Love it. But the scheduling in this is, and Dave has said, yeah, they still want to work on it, blah blah blah, and then other things get whatever. I don't like the scheduler in this game. It's a pain in the ass. But that's okay. No game's perfect. I love it for just about every other reason there is. Skipped over two entire teams, yeah. Skipped over two entire. That's crazy. Yeah. Baseball for Windows scheduler is nice. It guides you through if you have, this many teams, this many leagues, this many divisions. Punch in this number, and yeah, you're ready to go. And it does it. It's super easy to do schedules in that game. This one um, comes with like a schedule file. So no game is perfect. No, but wow. But be perfect as your baseball in heaven is perfect. Nice little paraphrase of scripture there. That's my only complaint about this game, Big Clue, is the scheduler. I can't think of anything else that with Action PC that I would say, oh, this sucks about this game. I mean, we know the chalkboard can be quirky, but that's okay. It's getting better every year. Yes, I know, Ken Robbie. That's what I always play as a professional style schedule. And you can do CSV imports, and you could actually this would do a CSV import too. So Montreal and St. Louis not scheduled at all. Guess Dave hates the car, or guess Dave hates Canada. I guess we'll have to find out. Does Dave, dear Dave, our neighbors to the north, nobody hates Canadians. What's the deal with you, dude? Oh well, I kind of do, but what I do in that Big Clue is I just fire up. If I'm trying to set up ballparks of my own, I just fire up Amazon Music and just listen to some whatever, and move the little markers around. And you saw the way the new version of Dombrov Baseball is. I'll take this one any day. So, but yeah, I kind of wish it was too, but nah, what are you gonna do? Big Clue says, I love Canada. We should have annexed it years ago. Still, awesome game, and just so thankful for it. And with what we're doing with that bingo league, whew, I couldn't imagine trying this. As much as I love out of the park baseball, I couldn't imagine trying that or trying that in action or in out of the park baseball. God. So anyhow, Robbie, you don't. Yeah, but here's the thing, buddy. You've never seen cumbersome till you tried to make your own ballparks for baseball for Windows. I'm serious. Your favorite game, setting up ballparks for that is a nightmare. Nightmare. Yep, add any ballpark photo. Yeah, but Robbie, trust me. Go find the instructions on the APA zip thing and go ahead and make a ballpark for baseball for Windows. And then you're going to say, wow, even though you don't play Action PC, you'll say, wow, Action PC's not that bad. It's terrible in Baseball for Windows. I'd rather have, like, I don't know, 3 root canals and I don't know, whatever else is medically or dentally awful than to make a ballpark for Baseball for Windows. I gave up. I'm like, screw this, man. I'll just buy their stupid CDs when I can. Baseball for Windows is far from perfect, too. So, further from perfect, I would even say, and I love that game. Todd says he's still concerned about the 5 minute limit. Is there a way we could include the next 5 rounds in Discord and let people know ahead of time what year they have? We're going to do something like that, Todd. But for Friday night, we're going to do the draft as we did the other night. So, and well, it's going to be organic. I think we knew it was going to take some time to put together. Hopefully, you can be here. On Friday night will be a later start, my usual normal later start. So if you don't work Saturday, hopefully you can be with us. It's not cumbersome at all in action. It's not really cumbersome in action once you get used to it. So, all right, there's already. I don't want to. Let me find a team that I don't have one assigned yet. In my opinion, yeah. See, all these have assigned teams or all assigned ballpark. I'll just respectfully disagree with that because okay, let's do Dublin. So right now, Dublin is just set at neutral park. Okay, so I go up here. I don't think this is cumbersome at all. So what I'm going to do here is you just have to remember a couple things. Okay, forgive me, Dublin, but we're going to put you in a new park. Let's just put you in Crosley. So I got to remember that's Crosley Field, assign team to park. Boom. Okay, it's all I got to do. Click OK. Now I close this. All right, and I remember that it's there. That's it. It's done. That's it. A Great Beatles tune. What was the Great Beatles tune? Hey, MV. As far as the logos go, well, since Baseball for Windows doesn't have logos, we really can't speak to that. But if I wanted to take the Dublin guys, I don't have a logo. I would have to design one. But if I just wanted to do this and say All-Star Game 1989, assigned logo, okay, there, it's there. Oh, the night before. Yeah, it's a great. Treat me like you did the night before. Great song, great early Beatles tune. Anyhow, let's get rid of this logo. Holy hell. Yikes. Can I just do JPEG? Yeah, there we go. Here now. Oh, it didn't go away. I'll have to make it go away later. No, I can't. I won't be able to sleep. There we go. It's gone. Thinking of George. Yeah. Won't be home till 9:30 or so. But this kind of draft is such that what are the chances someone draws the same year and picks someone you wanted? Oh, I don't know. But I mean, we're still going to do it, and yeah, I mean, we'll work it out, bud. We'll work it out. Yeah, I mean, nobody's going to get screwed. Yeah, I know. I've got to be at work in. I've got to get up in like 6 hours. Oh, George Davis. Well, you should be. Yeah. So MV, that was a great game. That was a great game. So it's fun tonight. Right? Yeah, I know. What are the chances that yeah, I had to draw 2020, but that's okay. I'll deal with it. I don't want to get rid of those 3 years of baseball. I really, really don't. 19 and in fact, Robbie, if you remember, my first year that I drew was 1944. Just had to suck it up, buddy. And V says it was awesome. I couldn't believe the ninth. Yeah, right. The best thing about 2020 is going to be drawn two more times. That's true. I mean, there's enough Hall of Famers to go around. There's what? We have 12 teams. So 60 Hall of Famers max, not counting the Negro Leaguers. So 60 Hall of Famers plus 24 Negro Leaguers. That's 84 members of the Baseball Hall of Fame. So nobody's going to get shorted on Hall of Fame picks since we put that limit. So this, like a team like this, is not this. Or Double Enough says this is not going to happen. And there's a couple guys here not in the Hall of Fame, but a team like this is not even going to be possible in that bingo league, which is really fun. We'll work it out. Oh yeah, I know, right, Robbie. I know, because I was saying, watch, somebody's going to get it, and it was me. Suck it up, baby. Yeah, Ken Castro and I got screwed that night because World's Worst Gamer was getting like 1895, and I could just hear Ken, just hear him like cursing. I could really hear him just through his text. That's funny. We got screwed so badly. And then World's Worst Gamer gets Hannes Wagner, man. Son of a bitch. So once again, what do you mean, MV? You have a pretty good team. Yeah, you have a pretty good team so far. My team's like, I don't know. Yeah, Wagner's boring. Well, I guess if and we've already said this within here, so we're not picking on him, but I do kind of find it interesting. If you want to call 8-time batting championship, and he was the National League stolen base leader until who broke Wagner's record for National League stolen bases, right? And he was second to Cobb, or if you want to bring in Billy Hamilton, third in all-time steals forever. Could play every position. Was a true five-tool player. Whew, if that's boring, then but that's all right. Hopefully he'll be willing to trade. He probably won't though. He might be trolling us, man. He might be trolling us just to have some fun. Yeah, it's a great Todd. It's so cool. This idea is so great. I love it. Yeah, he's not a Koufax fan either. Well, actually, it wasn't. It was that whiskey, jackass jackass whiskey and pinto beans that broached the subject about Koufax. And then yeah, and then we got into the whole thing about dominance and who'd we pick on Harold Baines. Yeah, it does make you. It really does. Because it would have been easy. Because if we would have said, okay, if you didn't come up with this neat year idea, we could have said, okay, you can draft from all the baseball history, but you can only have 5 Hall of Famers. It's this is you're learning about more about the game. All of us probably finding out little things that we never knew. It's like, oh damn, hey, this guy in this. Who was that Rhines guy? What was his name that cousin Ken picked? I'm like, who is this guy? I had no idea who he was. Big clue. Pick on the knuckleheads who voted for him. Yep, last round, and Todd B says last round, and you need a catcher, and boom, you only have 1 year to pick from. Yeah, Steve made it personal, Big Clue. He took Ted Kluszewski from you, and I hope that the smack talk between you and the erstwhile Mr. Tate will reach. I'm just looking for epic, epic, epic. Hopefully, it's gonna happen, right? Yep, some of us already have Johnny Bench. That would be me. Yes. Yeah, you could do. You couldn't. Yeah. No, I have Johnny Bench. Oh, so it's still okay. So what you're saying then? Um, the World Series game on. Oh, that's right, MV. You're 5 hours ahead. Yes. So game two Thursday night. No, I didn't take Joe Morgan. I did not take Joe Morgan. I don't think I took Joe. Did I take Joe Morgan? No, somebody else did. Come on. So I mean, if I wouldn't have taken Johnny Bench, right? I would have been like, you'd been like, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. Had to take Bench, man. And V got Joe Morgan. He has a great idea for a sequel to this draft league. So Robbie, yes. So all you'd have to do with Baseball for Windows, you couldn't reproduce this league, but just set up a random get that random dice generator 1871 to 1997 and do your own. You could definitely do that. You just can't do this league if for any player after 1997. That's all. Still, look how much baseball you have to go on. That's a ton. So yeah, do your own, man. Okay, so he says, Big Clue says we should do the same exact thing, except that each of us can only draft from a single franchise's history. They can only draft pirates from each of the random years. Oh, damn. And once you burn the Hall of Famers, you have to think outside the box. That is wicked. That is wicked. What a cool idea. And we all have our favorite teams here. I don't know that all the franchises, but all we need is if we could get fans of the 16 original franchises or whatever, that would be fun. Can you imagine someone who has the Yankees getting random years but only 5 Hall of Famers? So, Robbie, short answer, yes. I mean, do the math, buddy. Do the math. Enough great players? Yes. So, it wasn't like I mean, just the math says, my friend, it's not like the preponderance of great baseball players were from 1998 on, right? But you know what? Here's the thing, Big Clue. The people that would really get screwed are fans of the younger franchises like Robbie. So you're a Texas Rangers fan. What are you going to do, right? Because your team is the second, right, relocated Washington Senators, so you only go back to 1960. So I'm glad I'm a Pirates fan. You should be glad you're a Reds fan. Todd B, you should be glad you're an Indians fan if we would do the sequel to this league. So, Robbie, do it in Baseball for Windows. Do your own version of it. Do your own version of it. I mean, I would hope, buddy. Look how many great players are in this Ned McGreevy league and in this Dead Ball league. I mean, this Ned McGreevy league is loaded. Oh, team based on criteria. Yeah, Todd, you were talking about that, like a team of switch hitters and all drinking team or whatever, and that's really cool. That's when everybody's going to have to get on Saber and like, okay, who was here, who was there. But this is a brilliant idea. Let's get through this one first, and then maybe the sequel. Big Clue's talking about just drafting from a franchise. Oh my God! I know my luck. I'd be get. I all my random years for the Pirates would be in the 1950s and the 1980s. The well, and actually we weren't so very good in the 1940s either. So 40s, 50s, and 80s for the Pirates. Oh my God, just dismal. And that's my luck. I wouldn't be drawn from the 20s, the 30s, the teens, the aughts, the 60s, the 70s. Yeah, not early 90s. I'd get like, yeah. That's all right though. Still bucks. All fat team, Terry Forster. So you could give him two franchises, right? Okay, Rays Diamondback squad. Yeah, that's a good idea. Combine Marlins Rockies, right? And if you're a Minnesota Twins fan, I think you should be allowed to have the Washington Senators. Yeah, it's a good idea. Big Clue already thinking ahead to when this one's done. Love it. All right, gents. 6 o'clock comes around quickly. Astros, Mets, Padres, Nats, Royals, Brewers. Okay, good idea for the expansion for the fans of the younger franchises, the baby franchises. Yep, the Twins are the original Senators. So, yep. So you're. I don't even think we have a. Do we have a Minnesota Twins fan in this community? Does anybody know? Like the Twins are their team, you know? Yeah, definitely. You guys all have a great day tomorrow. Unfortunately, again, we've run too long for me to thank everybody. So, um, thank you all for coming in, and we'll see you tomorrow night for game two. And again, great job tonight. Midlife crisis. I know you lost, but excellent managing. Errors killed you. So 5-4, the final. Tonight's game one. Tomorrow night, Manchester travels to Philadelphia in Shibe Park. And we'll see Grover Cleveland Alexander versus whoever's next in the rotation for Philly. Till then, guys, see you around the batting cage.